to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with me on that?
You've like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Five. It is Thursday, it's December 4th. It's 8:09. As usual, we're a few minutes late. We apologise for keeping ourselves tardy, but we had to sort out some banter in the background. It's going to be a banter show. There's a few different spicy opinions that are going to be here tonight. As you can see, there's only three of us at the moment. That's because Johnny, he's not on his holly pops. He is not on his holly pops. He is, however, otherwise engaged this evening, just doing his he's got to take care of his stuff that happened because of his problems last week with his house. So we've got in two new guests for you today. Two new guests. The Spurs 3 does become the Spurs 5. Before I bring them in, let me just very quickly ask you for some admin and find out how Lubanaut and Stelios is doing. Guys, please smash the like button as you always do on the video. If not now, then at some point in the show. We appreciate the engagement so much. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the march to 27K, I think. I can't remember what we're on. Hit the notification bell as well. That button should be squeezed, as always. And drop your comments thick and fast. Let us know how we're getting on, what your thoughts are and takes are on what the topics are. Keep them respectful. And the mods do the modding. Lastly, guys, we are, of course, on all of the various podcast platforms. If that's your jam, then please go into the description and find the links for Spurs 5, or just search Spurs 5 on Apple and Spotify and all that, and give us a follow and a rating. Before we do the doorbell and the guest selector game, Lubanaut, never a straight answer on Monday. Are we more clear of mind today? Are we sure we know where we stand on a certain topic or two?
Always a clear mind with me. Don't worry, Sean.
Always a clear mind, just never a clear answer.
Always clear. So long as I get a chance to finish my answer, all will be clear.
Okay. We'll be here until sort of January waiting for that one. Simple yes or no would suffice. How about you, Stel? How you doing, mate? Good to see you. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Good to be back on the show, everyone. Smash the like, subscribe, hit notification bell, get your comments in, and looking forward to hearing December's excuses from Lubo and the rest of his army. We got the August excuses, the September, the October, the November, now we're in December, so a new cocktail of excuses, I'm sure, will be mixed up. Looking forward to hearing.
My chairman.
We haven't had that one for a while, have we? Haven't had that one at all. Great thing up to you, Stel. All right, guys, as you know, it's Thursday, so we do have to get up to 5. Let's find out who could it be. First up, we have, look, it's Christmas time, and at Christmas time, you like to bring the best versions of things, and we couldn't, unfortunately, find Jack Grealish. We couldn't afford Jack Grealish, but we could find Jack Grealish, the Wish version of the channel. It's Lukey from Spotlight on Spurs. Big up to you, Jack. Big up to you, Luco. How are you, my man? Good to see you. You okay?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I'll tell you what, I'd take a Wish Jack Grealish right now on the pitch. It'd probably be half decent, to be fair, especially in that left wing position. But yeah, not too bad. Thanks again for having me on. Much appreciated.
Great to have you, my man. Great to have you. And right behind him, we've got our doorbell. Fresh from a hard day's graft of ripping off old ladies for tightening the stop clock. It is your favourite plumber from another mama. You know him as James Flower. How are you, James? Good to see you, my man.
Listen, I'm cheap. You're not meant to be telling everybody my secrets, Joe. Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are we?
Good, mate. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. What's going on? How many old ladies have you sent to tears this afternoon?
I'm not disclosing any evidence of anything. I know nothing. Pockets full of cash.
Nice. Listen, if the backyard banter was anything to go by, then I think there should be some interruptions tonight, and I think there should be some movement of goalposts, as you like to see. Big up to the chat. Please do smash the like, as I say. Please hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Let's start. Only place to start, of course. We have to do a little bit of work in the history before we can move into the present and, of course, the future. Tuesday night, we had the midweek game. Tough away game. 8:15 late night up at St James's Park, a place where. Well, first of all, I'll come to you, Stel, to give your take on it, but also to update us on the predictions. I think I was embarrassingly harsh on Tottenham, saying, I think I said 4-0. I think most of us went for a draw, if I'm not mistaken, Stel. But let introduce us to the overall scores on the doors. And what was your thoughts on the game generally, mate?
Well, Johnny said 3-1 Newcastle. Lubo said 3-1 Newcastle. You said 4-0 Newcastle. And I said 4-1 Newcastle. So... absolutely abysmal predictions. If anyone made bets at the back of us, we apologise. You've lost all your money. Sean, the game. I mean, we're at a stage now where, as a fan base, we are calling losses positives and we're celebrating draws. I mean, the standards are in the mud. The desperation to find anything happy with this football team, it's delusional. 2-2 against Newcastle, and we celebrate it. It's a draw. If we lose to PSG or we lose to someone else, I can see the positives. We got spanked. There's no positives. I thought the performance against Newcastle. Look, we all predicted a heavy loss, so to get a point is good. It is, because we all predicted a spanking. So to come out with a point is good. But the performance is horrendous. Our football is absolute trash. The way Frank sets us up is bollocks. I can't watch it. I don't enjoy it. It's just defend. His patterns of play are non-existent. His attacking plays, give it to Kudus, hope for the best. And that is it. It's awful. We got away with it because Romero had one of those games where he behaved like a leader. The penalty was an absolute disgrace, absolute abomination, that decision. Any which way you look at it, shocker. But people that say, oh, if it wasn't for that penalty, we would have won 2-1. No, we wouldn't. Because the only reason we went attacking all out the last 10 minutes was because we were losing 2-1. If it was still 1-1, we'd be defending. Let's have it right. So I think it would have ended up 1-1. I think Newcastle are kicking themselves because if they started Gordon, I reckon they would have had us. He absolutely skinned Porro, rinsed Bentancur. If he played the whole game, I don't think we would have won it. I thought defensively, though, we defended pretty well. As a team, we defended really well. Good blocks, good interceptions. We were very, very aggressive as well defensively, which I liked. Again, we concede from edge of the box. It's almost as if Frank and the entire coaching team you brought from Brentford are doing it on purpose now. They're deliberately doing it. I read somewhere that because the XG is low from the edge of the box, they ignore defending it. Well, if that's the case, it's idiotic because every team is looking at us and saying, well, that's how we're going to hurt you. So it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. We got a point. We take it. We thought we were going to get 0 points, but I'm just keeping it real, everyone. Call me negative. I don't mind that. I'm used to people being upset with hearing the truth. The performances are garbage. The way we play is garbage. It's not just the players, it's the manager as well. We should not be in the situation we're in with this squad. We shouldn't. I don't think we should be top 4. No chance. But we shouldn't be where we are, and we shouldn't be putting in these performances week in, week out. I want to give one special mention to what's his name? Freaking hell, I've forgotten. I just had a complete. I thought Bergvall for me.
Special mention to that guy. I can't remember who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. I just had a brain fart. I thought Bergvall. It's weird because he seems to be criticised by some, praised by others. I think Bergvall is slowly growing into a competent midfielder. He's not the finished article. He's not there yet, but he's slowly growing into a competent midfielder, and I'm actually enjoying watching him develop. He's one shining light of development where most of the players have regressed. So I wanted to give a special shout out to him.
Where's his best position in your mind? If we're going to do this, double pivot with a 10, or one stays deep, one's a box to box, one's a 10, because we keep trying, right? We Pape Sarr started the season as a 10. Now he's playing. The other night he was the most defensive of him and him and Bentancur. Bergvall played in the 10 the other night. Some people say he's better in the 8. He's played in the 6. I don't think that's a terrible situation for him, but I don't think he knows his best midfield 3. I don't even think we haven't even seen the iteration of Xavi, Bergvall, and Polinia yet, which I think's a crazy iteration not to have experimented with. But where do you see Bergvall ending up being? What's his best position on the pitch?
In a 4-3-3, I don't think it works for him. I think he's better suited in a system that's got 2 attacking mids, and him being one of them. But as a solo attacking mid, he's not an out-and-out 10. But in a duo where he's got a bit of freedom to shift out of that position and maybe go more diagonally into the box and then come back in, I think he's better suited to that. But he's not
2-2-2 thing we were doing before.
Yeah, he's not an 8. He's not an 8. But again, I would actually like to see Xavi Simons start a little bit deeper and Bergvall push a little bit more forward. I'd like to see that, because I think that would work for those 2 players more so. But at the moment, Xavi Simons is getting an absolute rotten deal at this club. Absolute rotten deal. I don't know why we even signed him at this stage.
Yeah, I agree. Need to see more from him. Maybe Brentford's the way. James, I'll come to you, mate. Same sort of question. Any particular standouts? What were your expectations going in, and were they met? Were they surpassed? Are you focusing more on the outcome or the input factors? Because lots of different ways you can interpret the game.
Yeah, so for me personally, I was looking for more of the input rather than the outcome. Because I think the outcome, the way I look at it is Frank's got a season for me before I start judging him anyway. So I want to start to see like a progression or a style of football or something. Whereas I feel like we are nicking some results, but I don't get the style, I don't get the plan. I don't understand anything. Like, to be honest, I disagree with what Stel said. I think Stel's clutching at straws there by saying about Bergvall. If you actually look at him and look at the amount of times the guy gives the ball away, I think you'd be flabbergasted. The amount of stupid, he done one flick that nearly worked. And I think every touch after that, for about 7 attempts, he tried to do the same flick over and over and over again. And they all went to the opposite team. And I'm like, look, mate, you've had one. Get back in your box a little bit. For me, I think the reason he's a shining light is because everybody else is so bad, barring Polinia. I genuinely do feel that, because for me, he needs to go out on loan to bottom of the Premiership team, Championship team, and play week in, week out. I don't think he's good enough as a cam. I don't think he's got that final end pass. I don't think he's calm enough. I think he's a bit of a headless chicken. My main takeaway from the game is it's boring. It's so boring. I've lost all interest. And look, I understand it's going to take time, and I'm happy to give him time, but I've never been so discontented and disjointed from this team in my life. Normally, I'm like, right, sit down. Last season, knew he was going to lose, but it's like, right, Tottenham are on. And then towards the end, it was a bit more. And now this season, it's just like, not only are we going to lose, it's going to be crap. So, yeah, I just want to see a bit of progression. What you said there about Xavi Simons, to be honest, if I was him, I'd be losing it. I think I saw a stat as well. He started 6 games and we've won 6 games. I think is he started 6 and we've won?
Right.
Spot. So
it's not. He started 9. We've won 6, drawn 1, lost 2, but we've won 6 at 9 when we started.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't understand. And that's my main thing. If I understood what Frank was trying to improvise, I'd go, right, okay, I get it. You're trying to build this. You're trying to start from the back and go forward. But it's like, we can't defend, we can't keep the ball, we can't attack. So we're kind of just trying to do a bit of everything, and none of it's working.
Yeah, that's. I hear you, James. I'm a little bit lost as well. Lukey, I'm sort of maybe guilty of running before I could walk with Thomas Frank. I remember when he first came in, and I was listening to him saying things, and my commentary was always like, every time I hear him speak, I feel reassured that he's not saying things that I'm not seeing myself. Like with Ange was just sort of saying things. This is not to get into the Ange conversation, but just as like the relative comparison. he was saying things that were just so wildly different to my perception of what we were doing, where we were at. I was like, I can't see the game the same way he sees it. Whereas with Frank, I'm like, oh yeah, like he's saying the things that I'm seeing, and he's also saying things that I didn't even know that I felt that I actually agree with. I hadn't even thought of them. That's how it started out. I was like, I feel reassured. At least I'm on the same page. But then recently, that's sort of dislocated. I don't feel like I'm seeing that anymore. I feel like he's saying things now that are a little bit different. He's viewing games, he's viewing performances very positively when the outcome and the input haven't been great. And I'm starting to see a little bit of a disjointed relationship with my perception of what I'm seeing. He obviously knows he's forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. But, you know, like I worry a little bit around whether or not I can understand what it is that he's trying to achieve, similar to James's point there. Where do you sit on it, Lukey? And obviously talk a bit about the Newcastle game as well, mate.
Yeah, I think 100%. I always said from the very start about Frank is that he's never worked under this pressure. He's not worked under the size of this club. We say it about players consistently, but I don't think we say it about managers often enough. You know, the amount of times where players have stepped up from a what you'd call a smaller club, gone to a bigger club, and it just hasn't worked because they can't deal with that pressure. And that was part of it. I remember there was someone that came out, one of the journalists came out and said that most Brentford press conferences are like 5 people. At Spurs, that ain't the case. You're going to be asked mad questions. And we talk about like the Fulham game, for instance. He would not be pressed on tactics if Brentford lost at home to Fulham. It's kind of like, you probably could have done a bit better, but that's kind of it. Whereas at our press conference, he's being pressed. Your tactics don't seem to be working. And all of a sudden now he kind of unraveled. The whole calling out the fans, the biggest complaint I had about that was that wasn't one interview. He went and done that with multiple outlets. And at that time, he obviously believed he was correct in what he was saying. And then within a day, he's like, oh no, our fans are brilliant. It was brilliant. So I felt like this is all down to pressure. This is down to the expectations are there. And there was never, that's what I kept saying at the start of the season. There's no proof that this man can do it under these pressures. Now, that doesn't mean he can't. It just means he's never had the chance to. So for everyone that was saying when he comes in, this is exactly what's going to happen. I'm not really that. I'm slightly concerned about. I thought we'd be better defensively, but I knew we would struggle in attack because that's what his tactics dominate. He needs someone up there that's going to be almost a superstar. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think both of the attackers for Brentford last year way outperformed their XG, which is telling you that they have to either be superb finishers or there's a bit of luck involved and it's a hot streak. But in terms of Newcastle, it depends on what side of the fence you sit. Everyone had arguments for their points. So if you don't back Frank, there were several different reasons why in that game you've got justification. And then if you back him, then you go, well, hang on a minute. As you just said, everyone who was in the Spurs fan base expected a loss. He's got a draw. What more can he actually do? But for me, I've always said it, and I said it at the back of Ange's tenure as well. Performances are sometimes just as vital as the points that you pick up, because at least with the performances, you can see a way of playing, you can see an identity. And James mentioned it a little bit. I think the fact that Xavi's not playing, the fact that I think it was at Fulham we hit 19 crosses, I think we do know what he's playing. He's playing everything down the wing. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to dominate centrally. He doesn't want to play through the lines. And the one player in the team that can really do that is Xavi Simons, and that's the reason he's not playing, because he doesn't want to. That's not the tactic that he wants to deploy. Now, whether that's just because we're in bad form, so that's the reason that he's using that. I think with a player like Xavi Simons, he needs players around him that are going to be able to receive the ball and be confident on them. And there obviously isn't that confidence in the team at the moment. But I think that we need to get out of the rut, and bringing Xavi Simons into the team is a part of that that's going to help us get better. But it depends on who you line them up with and everything else. But the Newcastle game, that VAR decision was absolutely incredible. I have no doubt that Spurs are going to be the guinea pig again. When something goes wrong, there'll be an adjustment now to the rules, probably in January, to some sort of change on the thing. I think if it was given on field, then you could argue that you could potentially say, we're going to leave it and let it stay on. But the fact that it wasn't given on field and then that was judged to be overruled as a mistake, I think is absolutely outrageous, to be honest with you. But as I said, I feel like getting a point against Newcastle away from home is a decent result. But we're not going off of that result. The reaction is not based on that result. The reaction is based on the football that we've seen and how unsustainable it's been for a period of time now. Let's not get it twisted. We've not been on fantastic form, drawn against Newcastle away, and the fans are in uproar. There's more context to it, so I can understand both sides from that result. But it's a very difficult watch for sure.
Just before I bring Lubo in, the Lubonaut, let me just push back a little bit, or not push back. Let me just ask you for a bit of colour then on the Xavi Simons thing. I don't disagree with what you're saying, that he's clearly looking down to go to players like Kudus and then to try and get the ball in the box. I think we had 17 crosses that were incomplete rather in the first half against Fulham. I think it was 34 or 32 or something by the end. So if by that, there's two questions I have. If we're going with that logic for a second, one is, the first obvious question is, why did he want a 10 then, if he doesn't intend to use a 10 in that regard? Is it for like, oh, we'll come to that later on in a different iteration of Tottenham, and therefore Xavi Simons is the victim of like lack of preparedness? Or two, is it a consequence of he looks at the squad and is thinking, well, we've got Richarlison and an out of form Muani, or an unfit Muani who's starting to pick up. But if you go through the middle, Richarlison's not the guy that you can really use to link up, right? Because he can't trap a bag of cement. So we're playing once again, as I think we did this at times last season. People that defend Richarlison, the few of them that are there that defend him, always say that he has great output. And I said, yeah, but even under Ange, whenever he was playing, we had to completely reshape the way we would play football to accommodate his lack of ability at everything else. And so we would be banging the balls in because the only thing he was good at was aerial sort of domination and shithousery. And is it a little bit of an extension, a carry on over from that sort of thing, where he's sitting there going, you know what, if like the only way I can really utilize Richarlison is in the air, and so therefore get the ball wide and then let someone stick it, like lump it in. And Muani's a big guy as well, so it makes sense. But again, the consequence of that is that Xavi Simons is a victim of a tactic that he's not responsible for.
Yeah, I think there's so many different variations to just having a starting 11. So you take out the left back, and that can cause consequence to your left winger, to your left centre back, to your left centre midfielder. So I definitely feel like Xavi Simons was not a player we were looking at to go and sign. It was Eze was the one guy, and we would hope that you go and sign someone that's Premier League played in a Premier League proven, takes less time to get up to speed. So I think that was definitely the option. And then almost that went sour. And right, where do we go now? So I definitely feel like if Eze was, or someone that had played in the Premier League was brought in, then you would expect him to hit the ground running more. I think what surprises me the most about Xavi not playing is the fact that it's not like we've got a confirmed left winger that's going to play every game like we have with Kuda. So if you decide, right, we're going to play on the wings, for instance, that's what we want to do. We want to go down the wings. Then normally you would have two wingers that you would expect to play week in, week out. But I mean, over the last 5 or 6 games, we've had Johnson, Odobert, we've had Tell come on, we've had Richarlison. So it's not like he's confirmed who he's playing on that side neither. So I find it all really, really strange. And I think you're right. But recently, Muani's been playing, and Muani is okay with his feet. He's not. Sometimes he looks good, and then other times he does look a little bit like he needs to get a bit fitter. No. But for me, I think it's just part of it's trying to find a solution. I think that when you look at the amount of players that have dropped in and dropped out, and it's because of apparently fitness, and it's because of the amount of games. Well, Spencer's barely played. Porro looks, for me, and we go through this every year with Porro, he gets played consistently week in, week out, he must be exhausted. And then we don't change him out. And then eventually we do change him out. And actually, after a bit of a rest, he improves a little bit again. So Spence hasn't played. They both played midweek. Then they both played on the weekend. And for me, it was like, why hasn't he come in? And then the same thing can be said for Xavi. You're sitting there saying, oh, we're changing it because players' fitness and everything else. And I think in today's comments, he's mentioned how great he's been in training sessions. Well, doesn't look great if you start the player you've just bought for 60 million that's going to take you up a level, can't start for your team, but actually he's been really good in the last 5 or 6 training sessions. So again, either in his press conference, he's saying stuff that he shouldn't be saying, or he's right and he has been brilliant and he still ain't played him. So what's the point in being good in training then? So I think there's a multitude of different reasons behind it. And I think a big part of it is that he isn't sure what that best combination is in that base of that midfield, which is pivotal in any team.
Yeah. Love that, Lukey. Lubo.
Can I just add one thing to that? With the whole delivering crosses, could he be delivering crosses because both strikers are so bad that they create 0, finish 0, And what he's thinking is if we deliver a ball into the box, one of them, maybe Moani or Richarlison, could win a flick on, and then it's a 50-50 bobble in the box, and one of them could potentially be in the right place at the right time. And before I get told how amazing Colin Moani is, the geezer couldn't finish his dinner. Let's be honest. He creates nothing.
Bring up
You've got a Richarlison shirt. Let's not go down that route.
Mate,
Yeah, I told them. I told them.
mate, I'm sorry. I think he's all right in the air. I do think he wins a good flick ons and he does all right in the air.
Goal in the league. He's got
But
zero
when it
goals. Zero.
goal threat, he is zero. He did this. The centre back is just having it off, isn't it? Let's be honest. There is no threat.
Can I?
Hang on, just quickly, Stel. Sorry, just before we get sidetracked, I need to bring Lubo in because he's been waiting patiently to get his answer.
Sorry, mate.
We'll come back to it. It's a good segue, and I definitely come back to it because I think there's going to be some banter on that one, some terrible takes, and some flip flop jingles are going to be played very soon. But I want to give Lubo his chance to maybe, I don't know, bury himself here. Lubo, talk to me, my man. Talk to me. Are the players good enough after the Newcastle game, or are they still absolutely terrible? What are we saying here, buddy? What are we saying here?
I think this. I must tell you, it was great. Buzz drove in sort of late afternoon into Newcastle. Love going to St James's Park. You always get a good atmosphere there. Although they were fairly quiet for a lot of the match, and all you could hear was Spurs. I thought the fans were superb. You know, you take 3,000 up on a Tuesday night, and the football isn't entertaining. The form's very mid-table, and I think the fans are absolutely superb. The football's not great. The result was very good. We don't hold the ball first half hour particularly. You know, the ball was just being cleared out. We lost the ball all the time. They just kept coming back. Defended well. Got to half time, and it was okay. Newcastle had a couple of chances, but not too much. Thought the guys defended well. Thought Danso had a very good game, stepping in for Mickey, who needed a rest. You know, at the end of the day, the guy has had a hamstring issue, and I think Frank was right in whether I'd have left him out for Newcastle away or not, I don't know, but it happens. You know, it came off. And the performance wasn't great. Second half was better. You know, we had more possession. You know, we had more control. It wasn't wave after wave of attack coming our way that it was in the first half. And I just think it was, at the end of the day, you know, Romero came to, put his big boy pants on and pulled the boys through, basically. Difficult to watch. Not easy.
That the same Romero that you were saying that isn't good enough the other day.
I didn't say he isn't good enough. I don't think the squad's good enough, Sean. I think we've got 4 or 5 very good players, but I don't think the squad's good enough. And you know, if you look at it, we've won 8, drawn 7, lost 7. So is a great squad. Is a great squad mid-table. You know, do you call a mid-squad grade? You know,
Is Sunderland a better squad than Tottenham, Lubo?
At the moment, probably.
Oh, come off it.
Probably.
You know what? In here.
They're playing some football, Sunderland.
Get form.
You seem to think. You know what? You seem to think we have this fantastic squad. You know, the complaints are.
Lubo, the whole chat is laughing at you. Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
They're terrible, Sunderland, aren't they? They have been a breath of fresh air. They're playing well. They give 100%. They play some decent football. And you think our squad is so great? Seriously?
Or maybe their manager.
How many players get into a top 6 team, let alone a top 4?
Lubo, name the Sunderland starting 11.
All you do still is you not
name the Sunderland starting 11.
I'm not letting you get away with
don't
this.
even know who plays for them.
No, because I see
you don't even know their players. And you said they're better
bits and they're playing nice stuff. But you know what? All you do still on
name
podcasts,
5 players then. Name 5.
Podcasts,
I'll meet you halfway. Name 5.
You slag. Slag
doesn't play for Sunderland. Try again. Name 5 players.
You've got to go and see. You've got withdrawal symptoms because
right, 4 players. I'll give you 4. Name 4 players.
To get that symptom.
All right, 3.
You've
go on,
seriously
3
got
players.
to get it symptom because I've never known a Spurs fan hate a manager like you hate Frank. I've never ever seen
I've
it.
never known
ever.
a fan
You
to
talk
say
like a gooner.
Sunderland
Seriously,
are better than
you talk
Tottenham
like a
Hotspur's
gooner.
squad.
Frank,
Lubo, hold up. That Ange
We
hate
signed
last year
Moani,
way
we
went
signed
above this.
Kulu, we
one
signed
at a time, one at a time.
Moani's
we
shit.
signed Kudus, and he
Hang on.
says Sunderland are better.
Yeah.
You can't even name a player for them.
Yeah, he has got that. We have
Go
an
on, then.
unbalanced
Name
squad.
some players for Sunderland.
We haven't. So I'll tell you something. It's all about the team. It's not about individual players. Still,
It's about the manager as well, though. Otherwise, the manager is irrelevant, right?
It's not about how many get into the first 11. It's about who is right in the squads. If the style of play suits the players that they've got, it's all about all different things. At the moment, Sunderland.
Do you think our style of play suits our players?
I don't think there is a style of play, to be honest. You want to tell me what our style of play is?
Well, you just dug yourself a hole there, then.
What are we doing?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
We're not short on players. Well, I don't know.
Quality players, James. We're short of quality players.
Lubo,
We got Archie Gray.
We have had Wolves. We have had Wolves.
Quick question, Lubo.
Go on.
Does Try Hume get into the Tottenham squad?
Sorry?
He doesn't know who he is.
He is.
Get the book out behind you, Lubo.
Does Nordy Mukiele get into the Tottenham squad?
Couldn't tell you. All I know
Does Alderete get into the
talking
Tottenham
about
squad?
teams.
Does Reinildo, the 33-year-old left back, get into the Tottenham squad?
Maybe the way your dog is playing.
Does Robbie get into the Tottenham squad?
I've got to tell you something. Sunderland have got a good side. If you can't see that, if you think, you know what, Sean, you are deluded about the level of quality in our squad. You think we have a great squad. You're going to be telling me we should be challenging Chelsea for fourth place.
We have a flip-flop. Everyone changes their mind. Like they didn't say that last time. We have a flip-flop, trying to erase the past. Well, buddy, you're having a laugh.
You're having a fucking laugh, Lubo.
I've never said this squad is good. I've never said this squad is great.
I think the Sunderland argument is the worst one to use, and the reason I say that is because they've had a huge upheaval in their squad, and the manager's been able to deal with it. And we're now saying that we've had a huge upheaval and the players might not be good enough, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think Sunderland is the worst example to kind of give, because they're doing well for the players that they've got. I know they did make some very good signings, but when you look at the level of player, there's no way that we should be competing with them. We should be levels above them. So I feel like this is that team specifically is exactly what we should be doing with Frank. Frank should have been able to utilize this squad in a much better way. And that's what everyone was saying when we signed him. Everyone was saying, well, it don't really matter. See, in the injury crisis, a manager like Frank, he'd find ways to get it sorted. Will he?
But how can you with the quality of some of these players?
Ange had the same thing last year.
We're talking about Xabi Simons, who should be playing. He's our most creative player. And I'm hearing here, well, you were saying, who can he play? Who can he play with? Can he play with Richarlison? He should be able to play with Moani.
He doesn't play on a different
level to Richarlison.
He doesn't start.
Is Moani a different level to a Richarlison?
I think so. I think
based on what? Goals, assists? What? Based on
his career.
€95 million player a year and a half ago. What are we doing here?
Brendan Johnson was a £60 million player a couple of years ago. What are we doing here?
Brendan Johnson's
European champion.
European.
Let's be honest. If we actually look at it black and white,
James, you think Richarlison's better than Moani?
I think they are both absolutely tripe, to be honest.
So why you got his shirt then?
Secret lover.
What did you say?
You know what I would do with Moani?
He's got Richarlison's shirt. He's got a shirt with Richarlison on it.
Can we talk about Moani for a second, right? I stick by what I've said. In front of goal, I don't think he's that guy. He's not. In front of goal, not for what we need as a team. But what I do think is his physicality seriously impresses me. That 50-50 battle he had with Bassi during the entire Fulham game was immense. And I was doing the watch along on Tottenham TV, and I said, mate, I can't believe how strong Mawani is. He's got that pedigree about him, and his first touch and his technical play is tidy. He's a tidy football player. I actually think, if we played with two up top with Mawani behind the main guy, or if we keep doing the system we're doing now, I actually think there's an argument to say Mawani could be a 10. Mawani could be the 10.
Oh, I disagree so much.
Listen, he's got the physical attributes and he's got the technical ability, and he can create. One thing he's got is he's because if you look at the stats, I think we're like is it the worst or second worst team in the league for through balls? Our through balls just don't happen.
Worst.
The worst. Yeah. So that's because, first of all, we don't encourage that kind of passage of play. It's just give it to Kudus. But if we did evolve that side of the game, I think there's an argument to say Mawani is as a creative attacking mid. It might be worth giving it a go. Maybe him and Simmons as two players in that position, but it would mean changing the way we play. I don't know.
I don't think Mawani.
To be honest, if you want strength,
madness. I've never heard. I mean, I've heard some delusions in my time, but the one from this guy down here, James.
based on what?
I mean,
Vicario.
To say that there's no difference between Richarlison and Mawani.
Who's got more goals? As a striker, who's got more goals?
Hang on, James. You just said that in the game you was looking at more the performance than the result, and now you're looking at the result and not the performance.
No, but when there's no performance, then you have to look at the result because there's nothing else to look at. You know what I mean? You can't if there's no performance to look at. What do we do? Just shut our eyes.
Mawani's much better.
Based on what?
Based on when the ball goes up to him, he doesn't lose it every single time. He don't dive on the floor. There's
diving,
so many.
I give him that. He don't dive. But if we want someone solid, why don't we sell him and buy Chris Wood? He'll battle all day long.
Mawani can do it, mate. Mawani can do it. He's almost like there's not a weakness in his game.
Oh my goodness. There's not a weakness in Mawani's game, no?
Big guy, he can hold the ball up.
Mate,
he can bring it down on his chest.
You're
strong.
I'm sorry.
He can carry it. He can dribble. He scored a couple of goals, by the way, in the Champions League against the European champions. Let's not forget, right?
All right, fair, yeah. 2 goals in about 10 games. I'm happy with that.
It's not 10 games, though, is it? It's not 10 games.
How many games has he played?
3 minutes there. He fractured his
Come
jaw.
off a bit.
He had the deadest of legs. It was like 6 cents on his leg. I see dead legs. It was insane. Absolute madness.
Give me 3 months off, boss. I've got a dead leg. Fuck off, get to work. You know what I mean? No, dead leg. Come off a bit, man. I'm sorry. This is the problem with Spurs fans. I'm sorry. This is the problem. This is the problem with Spurs fans. I'm sorry. This is the problem with Spurs fans. You moan about being mid-table, and then you praise our players like they are top draw. Don't keep complaining if you keep seeing the same crap. We've got a striker that doesn't score goals, and you wonder why we're mid-table. Why do you think that is?
He's played in the Premier League. He's probably played about 250 minutes of football. What
I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry, mate. Him, Odegaard, they're all crap. They're crap.
But your Vicario, though. How about your Vicario? Should we take a little bit of time?
How many man of matches has my Vicario got? How many man of matches has Odegaard?
He got one against Fulham. He got one against Fulham. He was outstanding for them. So that's one.
This week, you tell me. All right, I've got one. You tell me, Odegaard and Mawani and whoever else you want to throw in there, if they've had one game as good as Vicario's had for Monaco. Tell me once when they've stepped up and held the ball like we have.
Odegaard changed the game against United.
Correct.
With one deflection. My striker scored, yeah? Is that what we're talking?
I'm just saying.
But don't you guys think, though, it's very, very, very difficult for any of these players to build any momentum or develop any progression when it's just they don't even know if they're going to start every week or they don't even know what position they're going to start in. The only one that's guaranteed to start in his position is Vicario, Romero, Van der Ven. Everyone else, you don't know. Well, if he doesn't know if he's going to start though.
No, I think he probably does. It's only the quick succession of fixtures. Him and probably Kudus probably do know.
Yeah, Kudus. He's fit. Kudus. Yeah. So half. Okay. So out of the 20-man squad, whatever we've got, there's 5 or 6 that know they're going to start and in what position. The other 15 haven't got a clue. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because there's no discernible difference, in my opinion. Like when people go, "What's the midfield? What's the best midfield 3?" Well, I was shocked when someone told me today that we haven't seen an iteration yet, a starting 11 of Palhinha, Bergvall, and Xavi. That to me, if I'm honest, like of the Bentancur, Sarr, Bergvall sort of conundrum of not knowing who's the best or whatever out of those 3, because there's not really a massive level of a gap between the 3 of them. Like I think that Bergvall's doing more than the other 2 to be able to command the spot. You've got to see Xavi Simons play, and Palhinha is by far the best of the 6s. The stupid thing about this whole thing is that whenever Palhinha plays in a double pivot, he's the guy that's given the license to get forward, and the other player is asked to step back. Whether that's Pape Sarr, whether that's Bergvall, whoever, Bentancur, that guy's asked to sit back, and Palhinha is told to move forward. Against this is the thing for me. Like it's one thing saying that the midfield, like. We don't know who the best 3 are, but whoever he picks, he also gives the license to roam to the weird choice of the 2 that's in there. But the fact that we haven't seen a midfield 3 of Xavi, Bergvall, and Palhinha to me after 20 odd games or whatever it is, 18 games across all competitions is wild to me. Wild.
Yeah, the reason I think that would work is Bergvall runs a lot, and I think to have somebody like Xavi, you need someone running around, making spaces. I think that if you had him with him, I think then you would potentially have the spaces for Xavi to either creep into or find. I just don't think Frank's brave enough to play that attacking.
But you're saying
I can't believe we've started 9 games of football with Xavi Simons, and we win 6, we draw 1, and he's not starting every game. Just by the stats, you should be starting Xavi Simons.
Has he got any GA?
Huh?
Has he got any GA?
No, but my point is, when he starts,
he's got 1 assist.
There's a 70% chance we win the game.
Yeah, no, that's what I was general question. I didn't know if he's actually got any GA. I know, obviously.
I think he's got 1. I think he's got one assist.
I think he's created 20 chances. He's got 1 assist and no goals. But we won. We win. When he starts, we win. We win games. We win a lot more games when he starts.
Also, the whole GA thing's a little bit of a misnomer for me. Like, it's the obvious up the output thing. But if you're the guy before the guy who's before the guy, if you're the dude who does the assist pass, like the assist to the assist or the pass to the assist, and that's the game changing ball, and then the other guy just taps it across. Like for example, I'm trying to think of an example. The goal that like Archie Gray, right? So Archie Gray's goal against PSG, that cross from Archie Gray was phenomenal towards the back post. That's not going to be chalked up as a G or an A in his record. But for me, that goal doesn't happen because Mawani then jumps up, puts it across the box. By the way, that's the other thing about Mawani. He doesn't just score a couple of goals in the Champions League. He also gets an assist as well. That's a little bit of a bit more added value for you there. You donut, James.
I'm glad he turned up for 1 game a season. We'll keep him.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't keep him right now.
No chance. My striker needs to score goals, and he don't score any goals.
Well, by that logic, James, if you work by that metric, then you've got to hope Dragusin gets fit, because then you can play Danso and Dragusin at the back, and you play Romero and Van der Ven up front. What do you reckon?
Absolutely, on that? I'd give that a go over what I'm seeing at the moment.
They're the leading goal scorers this season, aren't they?
Yeah, and also by that logic, you'd be sitting there saying that Brennan Johnson is an absolute world-class player because of his unbelievable output last season. Like, I don't think it was unbelievable output, but he's our best attacking player. He's better. I'd play him over Odegaard. Yeah. What did you say about my Wilson? My Heisenberg? What did you say?
Facts are fact. I mean, you're only saying about this whole passing back thing because Odegaard can't pass forward. That's why you're trying to say the pass before the pass before the pass. Can I say about
Odegaard? I'm not going to defend him, but can I say 2-3 months ago, I said, can we just pick one left winger, stick with him, and just see what happens? And then I said, let's just start Odegaard, give him 8-9 games in a row, then assess. We haven't even done anything close to that with any of the left-sided forwards, not one. I don't. Can anyone in the chat tell me, right? Or any of you guys on the show, have we started a left winger this season who started more than 3 games in a row?
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
No.
Any left winger? And there's your problem, guys. This is the issue we've got on the left side. We're not prepared to give anyone a chance to actually develop into the role.
Do you think a completely random one? Do you think if Kulu come back and put him as almost like a false 9 and then move Mwani out wide or like a tell, so they can almost be inside forwards, and then Kulu could be kind of your big strong hold up man and feed through Kudos and Mwani or Tell or?
I think Mwani would be better in a wider role than an out-and-out striker role.
I think he needs space. For me personally, he's not one of those guys that's great. You know, like a fox in the box. Like Defoe, you could put him in the box with 10 players and he'd find the way to finish it. Like I don't find he's one of those players. I feel like if Mwani was starting outside of the area, having the ball driving, almost like his goal against PSG, where he's almost driving at the player, step over onto his right foot, finish. I think he could be useful in that respect. That's what I'm thinking. Do you think it could work if Kulu come in and almost played like a false 9 up top? Do you think that would work?
Yes, I would. Then about the rest, I'd do it.
What are you saying?
I don't think Kulusevski's back until next season. I think him.
Oh,
and Madison,
really?
Yeah.
He was asked. Wasn't Thomas Frank asked today, Luke? He said, "Oh, any update?" He said, "When they're close to coming back, I'll give you an update." But basically, that means they know when you.
But Kulusevski's that body type is like the Wayne Rooney sort of body type where he needs a long run of fixtures to get fit. We had this last year, I think it was, where he got an injury, came back, and everyone was like, he's going to be back to what he was at the start, and he really struggled to get. So I think he's a player that takes a little while just to get back into his rhythm, and then Solanke obviously has been a while, and then Maddison, I don't expect to see Maddison at all till next season. Maddison already said in that, I don't know if you watch this YouTube clip, but he was like, I can't have another big injury. Like I can't risk coming back too early, being a month earlier, catching another injury out for 6-7 months. I'm 28, 29. Like I can't do that. So I'll be very surprised if we see him. And especially what people are saying is like, we get Kulusevski back. It's almost like, oh, we're going to get the very best version of Kulusevski. That is absolutely not going to happen. I don't think we'll see any type of form from him till late Feb, early March, probably even later than that, to be honest.
Can you imagine if Thomas Frank gets hired and fired all before Maddison and Kulusevski and Dragusin and Kota Takai and all of these people have actually played a minute for him? Yeah, that would be a pub
That's a
quiz
Spurs
question.
thing. That is a Spurs thing, 100%.
Name the 5 players who have played for 3 managers, despite having 4 managers in their time at a certain club. Was that Lubo?
I wouldn't put it past.
Listen, I personally, I don't think Frank will be here next season. I think Mr. Pochettino.
Do you think Frank will be here next year, though?
Yes, I think he'll be here for the season, and then I think Poch will be back next year.
Poch, yeah.
Yep.
Why Poch? Is that like because of what he did for us, or is that you actually think that that's going to happen?
No, because I've heard there are certain people in the club that rate him. So.
Oh yeah, there always is going to be though.
I do think. No, listen.
I haven't used this one for a while.
Yeah, come on, yeah. Sources, everyone has a source. They're never right, but we'll share them, of course. I know a guy who knows all the discourse. Content's got a content, and trust me, bro, is my source.
Come on then, Lubo. Who's your sources in the club? Go on then.
It's a very American feel tonight, this show, isn't it? It's quite American.
Come on then, Lubo. What's going on? So your sources, is this the same guy who says that Harry Kane was coming back in 25, 26?
No. He was a one-off guy. Okay. This is my regular ICK.
Jeff. Is it Jeff?
Yeah, but obviously there's going to be people that love Poch. He was there when they were probably there, and they probably all got on. That's if you're going to write journalism, isn't that like the easiest thing to say?
I would love Poch back.
But why?
I think this ball.
You say about Stell. First, you're the biggest one that says trophies. This guy started Son at left back against Chelsea in the final.
Yeah, you're right. Listen, and then he started Kane, who wasn't fit in the Champions League final. I just feel
And I'm not saying I don't like it.
the club that we are. Sorry, Luba, did you finish what you were saying? Because I don't want to start talking if you didn't finish what you were saying.
No, I said that was for me. I think Poch should be back next year. I think it's a natural, unless Frank's a major success. I think they'll take the opportunity as soon as Poch is out of contract at the end of the World Cup, and I think they'll bring him in.
The reason I would bring back Poch, right, is it's a few things. Number one, he just gets us. He just gets us as fans and the club. And a lot of managers that have come here, they've really struggled to understand us as a club and understand us as fans. He gets it. Second of all, there's players in this team who I rate. I genuinely rate them, but they've gone to mush because of the years under Ange and now under Frank and a little bit of Conte. I think the Dogi, Porro, Spence could be really, really good wing backs. I remember when Poch came to Spurs, Carl Walker was all right. Danny Rose was meh. He turned them into the two best in the league. Imagine Poch with Romero and Van der Ven and those as fullbacks. I reckon we'd have a cracking defence under Poch. He will still need to buy some players. Every manager that comes in needs to buy some players. But I think he's the only manager in the last 5 years that actually had balance of attack and defence. He had that right balance and we loved it because it worked. And I don't know a manager that would come to us right now that isn't a punt or a risk that we know has got that in his locker. But yeah, you're right. The trophy thing is a sticking point. But part of me also feels that when Liverpool had that Van Dijk and Alisson moment, if we had that moment under Poch, I think he would have won us some major trophies. But we never had that moment.
I agree with you, but everybody in that point.
It is a risk bringing him back, James. It is a risk bringing him back. But whatever we do is a risk at this club.
Everything is a risk, isn't it? Everything's a risk.
At that point in time, what you said about that Alisson and Van Dijk moment, we already had the best squad in the league compared to everybody else. Or that's what everyone was saying.
First 11, we didn't have the best squad.
Yeah.
Our squad
The bench was Winks, Dyer, Ben Davies,
first squad.
Nkudu,
but the first
for me,
it was absolute crap, man. The bench.
I love Pochettino. Like you said, some elite football. Great. Like we felt like a club. It all felt like one. Everyone felt like one. The end of the game, hugs, cheering. It was one, and that's what I did like. But it is one of those things where it's the second time's never as good as the first, and sometimes it's like, do you want to end it like that, where you get him in, doesn't end, it all goes sour. Then where do you turn? Like sometimes X's should be left X's. Like Pochettino, everything he was. I don't know.
The one thing I would say though,
bold move
with Pochettino is that's the stuff. Like I don't know why it is particularly with me, but it seems like most Spurs fans, that is the sort of style that they want to see. One thing I'm sick and tired of is there being a manager that plays a style when we bring a completely different manager in that plays a completely different style, which means all the players we bought for that person doesn't fit that system. So at least if they was to go down the Poch route, and they say this is the style we want, if Poch doesn't work, you bring in a manager that has that sort of style. At least that way you've got some sort of like progression in terms of what you're looking to do. Because I think Frank is another one. You've gone from Ange ball, which, okay, we didn't see it at times, but you could see what he clearly wanted to do. Frank wants to do very much different things. So why do we keep... And then we sit here and go, well, that player don't work for that system. Well, of course they wouldn't, because not all players can fit in every single system. I think that's part of the problem. And I know what you said about Kane and them starting him in the final, and I completely agree, but flip it the other way. If Kane doesn't start that final when we lose, everyone goes, you've got the best striker in world football, and don't start him even if he's half fit. As soon as he gets a chance, he scores. So he was always at a loss with that. I don't think he was ever going to win no matter what, unless we won.
Hold on, Luke.
You've got to be brave, though.
See, 1 minute. We're guessing now. We know, fact, Moura didn't start and Kane did start and we lost. We don't know what would have happened if Moura started and Kane didn't. It might be what you said. It might be exactly what you said, but it might not have been. The only fact we know is he did make that decision and it didn't work. Yeah. And that's why I always bring it up, because for me, I remember, I don't know about you guys, I was in the pub that night because I couldn't afford the £2,000-3,000 I was offered to get a ticket to go to Madrid. And I watched it in a pub with loads of other Spurs fans. And the conversation in the pub was, before kickoff, is Kane going to start? And we were all saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Everyone in the pod was saying, don't do it. So when we saw breaking news, Kane starts, it was like, oh, no. So I think there was a general feeling amongst fans it was a bad move before the game as well. But you're right. It could have gone either way. But the fact is, he made that choice and it didn't work.
That's
Yeah,
hard
it's a
to,
big decision,
put on
right? In
there.
them sort of games, there's one big decision or a couple of big decisions that you need to get right, and on that occasion, he got it wrong. But also, the other thing that Lubo was talking about with Pochettino, I almost feel like this ownership has got a free hit with Frank, because I've already started to see people that were backing Frank that are going, oh yeah, but this is a Levy, man. This isn't. Sorry, the people that want Frank out are already saying this was a Levy appointment, and it's like, really, was it? Because Levy was. If everyone knew that he was leaving at the end of a window, why would you let him take the mantle on making all these big decisions? So,
Vinay already said that it was like he and the team got together and there was like a long list and there was 15 criteria and stuff. So it was. Let's be honest, it's not like there's a new ownership, is there? It's like
I've been saying this.
We're pretending like it's just lipstick on a pig. That's what I've been saying for months. You know, whether you like the ownership or you don't like the ownership, to pretend like we've got new owners right now is laughable to me.
Like what we said earlier, though, Sean. I think they have got the free pass with the manager, and everyone will go, "Oh yeah, fans are fickle," so they'll go, "Yeah, that's fine." Like he weren't his manager; they want to go their own direction. But having said that, they've got a free pass in a transfer window. Like if they come in January and do nothing, then we all know it's exactly the same. Nothing's changed, but convincing players to join, they could say, look, come to us. We've got rid of Levy. We're trying to build a winning team now. Look, we're going to do this, this and this. So they've almost got like an extra tip to sort of say, look, join us. We're going to build a squad. Levy's gone kind of thing, and use him as the bad guy. So
it's the perfect play. It's the perfect play. But I agree with Sean. Like at the end of the day, if I'm an owner, and I've got the person that I've appointed in charge, and he's coming back, and all I'm hearing in the stories is that he's not give up an extra couple of million, he's not paid this in wages, and I'm sitting there going, I've not said that. I've got all the money in the world. Why are you not doing this? Then you'd be questioning it. But they weren't, because they was happy with the money he was bringing in. So his remit was to do exactly what he done. And they were like, well, hang on a minute. And there's loads of fans that have said this. As soon as it was changed, it was, right, we're going to give him a year. They've bought a year by doing nothing. They've literally just sacked Livy and got a year for no reason when it's been 25 years of whatever the protests were. So I think they've played an absolute... Levy's been Levy'd in my eyes. Levy
the only person who's played a bigger blinder here in this bait and switch is myself, because I've managed to get away from the in bandwagon. I like Daniel Levy's gone. I now don't have any agendas, right? I'm not attached to any opinion. I can just stand there and call everybody else who's in the trenches. They're in the mud for all their takes.
I've warned you about saying that all the time. I keep warning you about doing that. It's going to come and bite you. I'm telling you. I've got
to tell you, still, Sean will be there at the next demonstration. Him, you, and Billy T.
No, listen, if we don't, this is what I genuinely think. Well, I've got to do some super chats for a second. I genuinely do think, though, that whilst I agree with this notion that they do get a free hit, and if Thomas Frank gets sacked because it's not their guy, a lot of the fan base will gobble that up under some sort of legacy resentment towards Daniel Levy. Like, he's still getting pelters from the grave, which is ridiculous. But at the same time, I think that if they don't back Thomas Frank in this window because they're not sure he's the guy, they have one window. If they don't do anything in January, then people will resent the new owners as much as they did the old owners, even though they're the same bloody owners. So I think that they're sort of caught. There's a little bit of a sticky situation for them, in as much as if they don't back the guy because they're not sure it's him and they want to sack him, but then they therefore hold back the money. I think that their free pass also expires on February the 1st. So. And I think they're also stuck with this very weird predicament of I still maintain this, especially if we lose against Brentford and there's more chaos on after the scenes, after the game, and the commentary from the players and from the owner is more around why the fans are booing than how we played and why we played badly. Like, that's a bit of a bait and switch as well, by the way, regardless of whether the fans are booing. Like, let them do their thing. You explain why we played so shit. Let's not spend 15 minutes of your 20-minute post-match press conference talking about whether or not it's okay to boo a player. How about explain why we play so shit and why the energy is so terrible on the pitch at home, without trying to implicate the fans being part of the problem? It's ridiculous. But if this whole thing manifests and continues into January, what manager wants to join Tottenham Hotspur right now? What players, what top players who will have other options will want to join Tottenham Hotspur right now, where the narrative is, the fan base are impatient, they're intolerant of any kind of sort of building process, they boo their own players. I don't think any top player wants to join Tottenham Hotspur right now, if I'm honest. I think that's a massive problem.
Yeah, no, it's not a good look.
I think that's where he went wrong in the press conference, for sure.
Why'd you say that, Luke?
I think that's where he went wrong, because that he could have half said what Sean just said. Like, you can just so deviate away from that question in so many different ways. You can spin it and say, as soon as we start playing well, I'm sure the fans won't be booing. You could, like, there's so many different avenues he could have gone down instead of. And the thing was, what was quite surprising was that wasn't a boo by one or two people. There were quite a few people that were doing it, and to say that none of them were real fans. Like, normally you might hear one person say it and it will be brought up, and then people will say that they're not really a real fan. You wouldn't really say that. They say it when people get abused on social media. That's what, they're not really a real fan. But for the people that are sitting in the stadium, when there was a large, or not a large group, but a group of people that have done the same thing, to say they are not real fans is just
he got that wrong.
I completely disagree. I thought he told the truth, and people don't like to hear the truth.
No, what he should have said, James, what he should have said was, appreciate fans are frustrated. It's not been easy at home this season. Every player that makes a mistake knows it. So come on, guys, let's get behind the player when he's made a mistake like that and lift them. And that's really.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think that we live in a world. I think we live in a world where it's very
psychology. He's appealing to the fans rather than smashing the fans. I mean, the fans, I've got to tell you, the fans on Tuesday nights, the love Vicario got, they were singing his song,
we heard on telly, to be fair.
And the fans got behind the team brilliantly.
But for me, mate, I'm sorry, if you're going to single out player for player for making one mistake, especially, look, I'm not saying Vicario is the best keeper in the world, but he has saved us on numerous occasions this season as well. Let's not forget that. And to single him out and boo him, not once either, like continuously, time after time after time. You ain't a real fan. You ain't a real fan. You don't want your team to win. If you're going to stand there and knock your players and put them down like that, you obviously don't want them to win. That's like letting.
Do you know what I think happened? I think Vicario was on the back end of a lot of frustration of many things, and he just was the scapegoat on the day. Scapegoating him was wrong. I think there's a real anger and frustration towards the board, towards the manager, towards some of the players, towards the last 5 years, to not keeping Poch back in him. I think it's now manifested to a place where fans have said, you know what? Enough's enough. Yeah, enough's enough. Patience.
I also
process, no more process, no more project. Bollocks. We pay too much money for it. We're sick of it. And I think Arsenal being so goddamn good and on the brink of winning everything has compounded. It's compounded as well. And Vicario, for that bozo moment, all of that just came out of him. He took all the shit for everything that's been going on for a long time. I think that's what happened.
I don't think it was just a mistake, though. I don't think it was just a mistake. I think it was his reaction, because he made the mistake and then he started bellowing out and shouting at other people. And it's like, mate, just turn around and go, this is on me. I'm part of the leadership team. I'm supposed to be a leader here. He had that incident last year where he was screaming in the face of Bergvall and all fans were like, what are you doing? Like, he's a young 19-year-old, 18-year-old kid. So I think that was part of it as well. It weren't just a mistake, because he didn't then just go, yeah, my mistake, okay. He started then screaming and shouting at other players. And it's like, well, you the one that's made the crazy mistake. Like, and it weren't just one mistake. He could have cleared it about 4, 5, 6 times. And that's what I think. I'm not saying that was the reason for it. It was Bergvall.
He had a crack at Archie Gray as well for the back pass that put him in trouble in last season. And
I think that played a part in it, where he didn't just, as I say, for me, I think accountability is a big thing. Like, he could have just turned around and gone, my bad, right? I'll sort it out. But instead he started, and he does it so often. And I think that was a part of it. I don't agree with it, by the way. I'm not saying that you should be booing players at all. I don't think it helps. But fans have paid their money. If that's what they want to do, then that's what they do. But I just think that it was, as you said, still there was an accumulation of things. And the fact that he didn't just go, that's on me, bad. All right, he started shouting at other players. I think that was another thing where the fans were like, "What are you talking about? You've clearly made the mistake here."
Yeah,
Maybe I'm.
The other thing also,
I understand why. I understand why all fans are disappointed. I completely get it. But I'm sorry, if you single out one man in that one moment, you ain't acting like a fan. Look, I'm not saying. Oh, they
The fans
played.
aren't thinking straight in that moment, James. They're not thinking
No,
straight.
but you can't. No, exactly. But then at the
It
same
only
time,
lasted for a couple of minutes as well. It was the booing the first time he got the ball, they booed, and then I think the second people also misinterpret. I think the second time the ball went back to him and he cleared it, there was people say it was like an ironic cheer. I think maybe some of it was ironic. I think also a lot of that was a lot of the fans who didn't boo him, who were like, "What are you doing? Don't boo him. Let's cheer him to let him know that he's." And it's like some people interpret it as like a cheer of irony that get rid of it. But I think there was also some support baked into that ironic cheer. Guys, can we come back to that in just a second? Because we've been going over an hour and I haven't done any of the super chats yet. If I don't stop him at some point, then we'll just keep going on. Big up to all of you guys. There's over 600 people here. Really appreciate the support. I know there's a game of football on as well. By the way, it's 0-0 in that game. It looks like a boring game, so don't go and watch it. Stay here and listen to this instead. But there's 172 likes. There's 600 of us watching, and there's 172 likes. So that should be easily towards the 300 number. So everyone can just drum the thumb if you're watching this on a phone or on a computer or something. Even if you're watching it on TV, figure out how to drum the thumb from a TV. Just figure it out, people. It's really important. Smash the subscribe as well. Really appreciate you. Ledley's Knees. Great name. Ledley's Knees says, why do so many people say no Spurs players would get into a top 5 team when Spurs finished 2 points off 4th with a lot of the same players? Nonsensical. I agree, mate. I'm not like Lubo, who thinks all of a sudden that the players are absolutely dog shit. I think that there's a lot of good players now.
Sean, I never said dog shit.
Overrated, you said, or not good enough.
I think the squad's average. I think it's average.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think some areas of the squad need massive improvements, but I think our first 11, when fully fit and everyone's there, I think there's a lot of talent in it. I don't think our squad is anything like 17th, 16th, 15th, or whatever. So, yeah, I'm with you, Ledley's Knees, but I know there's a lot of people that want to go down that path. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat. The super sticker from Tony Rodriguez. Very nice, man. Appreciate you very much indeed. We started the super sticker train. That we get choo-choo. Choo-choo to you, Tony. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Always supporting all the channels, buddy. Hope Sweden is treating you well. Hope Helga and Ulrika and all that lot are watching next to you. Say hi to me. Hi from me to them. That sounded weird. Forget it. Wiz Magic. Big up to you, Wiz. He says 6 years since he left and fans demanding Poch back. Make it happen. Watch him also fail. Sack him. And let's finally put this Messiah myth to bed. He's like, yeah, let's just put that final nail in the coffin. Let's just kill the guy, kill him.
We're so desperate as fans that we want to kill myths that even if our club is absolutely disastrous during that period, let's just do it, even if we're disastrous. Come on.
Do you know what it is, Lou? It's like an itch with the fan base and they've got to scratch it. And until that,
I thought you were going to say something else then, an itch with a fan.
No, that's what it is. That's what it is. Man United 1-0.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Hello.
So Man United are now top 4. The squad, the team that barely laid a glove on us when they came to White Hart Lane.
And imagine if that game would have gone the other way. Where would we be now?
Yeah. Probably better off in the league, actually. We're probably playing one game a week. You know?
And that was my argument about Frank. I'm not Frank out at all. I don't think we should get rid of Frank. And we spoke about it earlier. Who'd you bring in, etc. But I think Frank was the guy to come in if we didn't win it. I think you do the rebuild, you start again, you allow him to have one game a week, getting his own thing. I feel if we didn't win it, he would have been the perfect appointment. But winning it, I feel like we should have gone a different route.
It's also incredibly unusual for a managerial change that comes to a club who are suddenly playing a stronger level of European football than they were the week before or the year before. You know, it's a bit unique, isn't it? Only Spurs would do that. Big up to you, Wiz Magic. Appreciate you. Ledley's Knees is back again. He says people are calling Spurs Brentford North. So does that make this weekend the biggest derby of the season? They rested players versus the Arsenal.
Yeah,
so they are ready. We're going to come to the preview for that in just a moment, my man. So we'll come back. I'll save that super chat. Thank you very much, though, Ledley's Knees. Come back in with another one as well. We said Xavi left Rice on his arse and dizzy in the Euros. Yeah. Look, Xavi's a baller. I was, as soon as maybe I'm wrong about it, maybe I'll prove him to be wrong, but I remember when we ended up with Xavi, I was like, I would have taken Xavi ahead of Eze, ahead of Akliouche and anybody else. So far, it hasn't worked out, but that doesn't mean that he won't grow into his role. He's a great player. It's just not being played correctly, and there's an assimilation process, in my opinion. Big up to you again, my man. Thank you very much. Andrew Burnett, big up to you. He said, Richie's 26 goals since 2022. Colo had that in 2022. There's your argument squashed there, James, Mr. Flower. You know?
In a Farmers League. How many has he scored in the Premier League? Listen, I think they're both crap. But how many has he scored in the Premier League?
It wasn't Moani was in the German league then.
Yeah, rubbish.
Oh wait, was he in Germany? Was he Ajax or Frankfurt? Where was he before he went to? Was he Ajax or Frankfurt? I can't remember. Let me know. Big up to you, Andrew. Thank you very much. The Spurs Dan on this. Big up to you, Dan. He says, evening panel, great show. What gives anyone hope that Frank can improve Spurs? Nothing has improved so far. It's only regressed, in his opinion. So, are you Frank out then, Dan? I guess so. Anyone here want to take that one? Where's the reasons to be optimistic?
I agree. Frank's ruined Vicario. It's not fair.
Well, do you know what? I agree. I agree with this. I have this argument with people all the time in comments where they say, "Give it time, give it time." And I said, "What has he shown you to justify that? What has he ever shown you before he came to Tottenham and now he's at Tottenham? What has he proven to you as a fan to say, yeah, he's the guy?" And when I ask people this, they don't have really much of an answer other than he got Brentford mid-table. I mean, is that the argument?
You could say the same for Poch.
Poch finished.
We was at a different level when Poch came in.
Poch finished.
We hadn't just won a European trophy.
He got Southampton their first time in Europe in God knows how long, and the football they were playing was blinding. I remember that team he built was brilliant.
I think another thing about Poch as well is that the amount of English players that he was bringing through, which I think a lot of people like that they can bring the young players through. And obviously that was another part of us going to him. So there was several different reasons that we went for him. But also, are we comparing ourselves to what we were when we actually took Poch on? Like we should have, after that, over that period of time, surely we should have come on moved into a £1 billion stadium, etc. So I feel like we was at a different level.
We should have, but we haven't. We finished 17th last season.
But it's easy to say that we won a European trophy. So there's two arguments to that.
Of course, yeah.
Luke, the level of the teams that we played in the Europa, bar maybe maybe Frankfurt, you wouldn't expect to get into the top half of the Premier League. United didn't last year.
We're not talking about, like everyone says that, and I use this all the time. Go back to 2019 when Chelsea won the Europa League. No one talks about their run. Their run was horrendous, but no one talks about it because it doesn't matter. And also, it's not like we only get beat by top teams. Everyone says that. Go look at Conte. We got beat against Sheffield United and Middlesbrough. We get knocked out by teams that are poor. So if we beat teams that are good, surely that's a positive. If we beat teams that are poor, surely that's a positive because that's not what we don't go out every year to Liverpool's and Arsenal. We go out to average teams.
The point I'm making is that we played in the league in the 20 games we played against the top 10 last season. I think we won 4, drew 2, and lost 14. It was ridiculous.
I'm not saying Ange is the answer.
So the point I'm making is that against the top 10 last year, we were crap. You know, if Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea, United, Arsenal would have been in the Europa, do you think would have won it?
We also had 2 months where Ben Davies, Dragusin, and Archie Gray were the back three.
Well, I'm just saying. You know, it's.
Yeah, but where do you think Ange would be if Ange had this team right now? If Ange hadn't been sacked, and we had these same injuries, right? We had more injuries at the top end of the pitch, but less injuries at the bottom end of the pitch. Ange's record with a fully fit back four was actually pretty good, wasn't it? From memory,
his record for them was very good.
Yeah,
so I think when with the stat that Stel pulled up as well about his games this season and last season, I'm pretty sure at this stage last season, Gray and Dragusin was the centre back. I think for a couple of games they'd been. So we was just
Forster was in goal, or Ben Forster, whatever his name is. He was in goal.
But I'm not saying again. It doesn't mean because Frank's not the right man that Ange was. That's not the argument. It's just that I don't feel like if you're. I know Romero signed a new contract, but you're talking about like top players wanting to come to Spurs. You've just got back into the Champions League, right? We're seriously competing. We want to go, and signing Frank for me was just like. Oh.
Can I tell you something that doesn't make sense, right? Look, sacking Ange, there's lots of very good reasons why they should have sacked him. Okay, it's going to be an argument that goes on for years, but sacking him, there's plenty of validation as to why they did it. But then there's not enough validation as to why Frank was the solution after that. That's the bit that doesn't make sense to me. Vinay said that they went through 10, 15 managers, did this really thorough analysis for the perfect fit. I want to see that analysis because do you know what doesn't add up? When we hired Ange, I was at the Spurs Academy and I spoke to the Academy Director, Simon Davies. And I said to him, so what's the plan now? Because you've restructured the Academy. The philosophy is different. It's not about developing the individual. It's about developing individuals that play in a specific system. And from under 8s all the way to under 21s, they're all playing the same way. And he said to me that when Ange leaves the club, he said one day he will leave. He's been told from above that the next manager that comes in will be of a similar mold so that the progression of the academy isn't wasted. And the next manager that comes in will play the same style as Ange, maybe not as kamikaze, but possession-based on the front foot, play out from the back, so that the academy players can then go into that team regardless of who the manager is. And I remember saying this to Simon Davies. Brian Daigle and Graham were there. They're my witnesses. I said to him, do you know what? I said, that's brilliant. Because I've been saying for years, why don't we copy more of an Ajax model? Why don't we do that? So I'm glad to hear that from you. He goes, and he said to me, that's what I've been told from above is going to happen. So my work here will be safe. We brought in Frank, who does not do that. He simply doesn't do that. So already they've broken what they promised the academy. So when you see these academy players not coming into the first team, I was thinking about it the other day. I think this is why. It's because what they've been doing for the last 3 years doesn't correlate with the manager they've brought in.
Well,
but make it what you want.
Sticking up for Frank. Go on.
How many times?
That's not Frank's fault, by the way. That's not Frank's fault.
I've mentioned this, haven't I, Sean, a few times about having an Ajax-type operation where you bring in ex-Tottenham players who know the game to come in and help run the club, and literally set up. They know what Spurs is all about. You play a certain way, you bring in the players who play that way, you bring in the managers who play that way. This way, you've got whoever it is, whatever.
Who are the people you would suggest?
They did that with Ange, with Simon Davies and Ange. They did that. Where it's suddenly just gone weird is they've got rid of Ange, fine, but then bring in the De Zerbi, bring in a Poch, bring in that type of manager. They brought in Frank, who is Nuno on steroids.
The problem you've got to sell is that every time a new coach comes in, and they don't last long at our club, they've got a mishmash of players from different managers who all play different styles.
That's the same for every manager, Lou.
No, but this is an attacking team. The team, Lubo, but the team under Ange was set up to be full throttle attacking possession based. That's what it was set up to do. The academy has been specifically set up to play out from the back, play 2 types of formations, and to be an attacking possession-based team. So all the academy teams are doing it. Ange's team tried to do it. By bringing in Frank, you've now just put an obstacle in the way of all of that.
Well,
the academy doesn't make sense now.
I'm not going to listen to this idea of like, the problem at Tottenham is a manager comes in and he's inheriting other people's players. That's the same with every single club and every single manager.
Sean, none of the managers get a chance. Most of them. There have been the odds other situations. Mourinho had
spent a lot of money on every manager we've had, mate, in the last 5 years. Ange has had a fortune. right? I know we can sit there. I know we can sit there and pick holes in the window that's just happened because it hasn't worked out to be quite as good.
I'm not talking about the money spent, Sean. I'm talking about the different managers who play different styles, who want players with different, different.
Definitely, the pendulum swing of defensive to attacking is definitely problematic. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and we do it consistently.
But yeah, also, what I was going to say to sort of half stick up for Frank, is it unfair to judge him because he did want Morgan Gibbs-White? We know that. He did want Savio from City. We know that. He did want Eze. We know that. You add those kind of players into this squad, then there's a lot more, I'd expect a lot more free-flowing attacking football. If you had Savio, Muani, Kudos, Xavi...
Not every manager gets what they want every time, do they?
No, I know. But maybe what he thought he was going to do, like we thought or we was told he was going to do, is secure the back line and build and build and build. Maybe that's what he was thinking. And he asked for a Gibbs-White to sort of control the game, and he asked for a Savio on the left to sort of help attack, and we didn't get that. So now he thinks, right,
well, you know what I would say is, to support that, I definitely remember him saying towards the end of the window, we're working hard. If we can't get the players that we want, then we'll wait.
I think,
and maybe that just quickly, Lukey, that thinking, you know what? If he doesn't get to January, if he said, we'll wait until the next opportunity, I don't want to get a player that I don't really want. I'd rather wait. Then, if he doesn't even get to January, if he gets sacked before January because he decided to wait, and then the waiting means he had to stick with what he had, and that wasn't good enough, and he couldn't do what he wanted to do, then what lesson does that send to the next manager? Is, well, don't wait. If you can't get the guy you want, take whatever you can get, because if it's better than what you currently have, then at least you've got to do something, because otherwise you won't get the time to be able to get your guy at the next opportunity. But again, this leads you to January the 1st. If we're waiting until January the 30th to bring in a left winger, like, we should have spent the last 3 months talking to people, getting ourselves ready, so that on January the 1st we can go after whoever those players are that he was waiting to get hold of.
That's my point. So maybe it's a bit unfair calling him out, and I don't think any of us are calling him out, but to actually say, right, okay, if he's been given that promise of, right, January you're going to get a left winger and a number 8, whoever, or you could have like a tell kind of player, like an average player. What do you want? He'd go, no, I don't want any of that. I'd rather struggle till January and get me in someone that's class. He's doing what I want him to do. It's just hard to accept it at the moment because of the way it is. So giving him a bit of slack, could that be, what he's trying to do also? Are we as fans been battered and bruised so many times that no matter what happens, we're going to pick holes in it because we're just all wounded, rather than just saying, you've got a season, you've got 2 windows, and then if in June, July, August we're still being linked with crap, then you're out.
No, hold on. Flowers, I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to do that again. You know what? I've completely changed how I think about it. Either we stick with him for 4 or 5 years, a proper project, and we back him all the way, or get rid of him and bring in a manager that is going to be the guy that we're going to back. Because I know what's going to happen. We're going to back him. If it doesn't work,
or get rid of him.
Well, James had given to the end of the season.
And you're saying no?
No. What I'm saying is, I don't want to spend a single penny on a manager that isn't going to be here for the next 4 years. Because if we're thinking he might not be the right guy, let's see what he does before we decide, then I don't want to spend a penny on him, because that then just eats into the transfer money of the guy that we might actually pick. And that guy is then going to be inheriting players on 3-4 year contracts that might not suit his way. Do you know what I want? I want Vinay.
I just want to be clear, because a couple of weeks ago you said, and from the get-go, you were always questioning him, but you said, I'm giving him a year. So is there a little bit of a need for it? Okay, wait.
We have a flip-flop.
Not playing the tune again. But you said give him a year. Now you're saying sack him or give him 5 years. What are we doing here still? Hold
on. Last show, I said he's got to prove something in December. Otherwise, I don't want to go into the January window having just ratcheted up another 4 or 5 losses we're 16th, and like, yeah, let's back him. No, I don't want to do that because he's proven to me that he's lost it. What, Sean? Do you know what I really want right now? Do you know what I really, really want? I want Vinay, this so-called brilliant PR guy, this excellent director that we've brought in. He's going to build relationships with the fans. He's going to improve communication. I want him to come out and say, Frank's our guy. We spent a long process finding this guy. We've specifically chosen him for a reason. He's here through the thick and thin the next 3-4 years, and for the club to back him like that. But by being quiet in this tough period, that says to me they're thinking about getting rid of him. That says to me, do you know what?
But based on what?
There's not really any major noise.
So Jim Ratcliffe came out and said, Amring's not going anywhere for 3 years.
After how long?
After 18 months.
Yeah, it wasn't 3 months down the line.
It's easy for Vinay to talk to us during the honeymoon period, in the beginning, when everything's great. I want our board or whoever's in charge of comms to talk to us when it goes dark. Because right now it's a bit dark at Tottenham. They should.
But every month you want him to come out and go, we still back him. We still backing him.
No. When it's dark, when all the fans are talking, should we bring back Potts in the summer? Is Frank the right guy? No. When's the last time we won a game of football? When's the last time we won a game of league football?
A while ago.
Stop asking me tricky questions.
But I think that's part of the problem, though, is that if they come out and make a statement, I know what would happen, right? And I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong here. I'm just playing devil's advocate. If they come out and make a statement and Vinay stands up and he goes, Frank's our man, blah, 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 all everyone's going to say is, I don't care, win a game. Don't care, sort out your tactics. What do they actually gain from coming out and saying anything at all? Like, it might even be like, oh, this is a vote of confidence. So actually, we're better off saying nothing because it looks like we're trying to prove that we definitely want him only after a few months. Like what? Like I think that's.
I just got look. Sorry, Stel. I just got to be unequivocally clear because we spent about half an hour. We spent about half an hour. Hang on, we spent about half an hour last show trying to figure out whether or not Lubo thought that the Fulham team was better than the Tottenham team or otherwise. And we're going to spend the next 5 minutes still, just unequivocally, because before it was, he gets a year, I'll judge him at the end of the year. Over the last couple of shows, you've been saying everything but Frank out. You've been saying, like, yeah, basically, I don't think he's the guy. I don't rate as a guy. I need to be changed. I need to be instant brownie points, put some wins in the locker. Now you're saying either back him for 4 years or get rid of him altogether.
No, I'm saying, last show I said, I'm Frank, I don't care. If they keep him, keep him. If they get rid of him, get rid of him. I'm beyond caring what they do anymore. But what I'm seeing, if this continues, if December is like the last 3 months, I don't think they should spend money on him. I don't think they should throw money at this guy. If he can't put any credit in the bank. Well, Frank's got to put some credit in the bank, Sean. He's got to show it to the board. I hear you. Listen, I hear you. Yeah, but this is why, if the board was to come out and say he's here for 3 years minimum, by doing that, what they're saying is this is actually a project. Because in the past, managers come in, we're sold a project, and they've got an 18 months. So it wasn't really a project. There was no project because you're not prepared to stick with it when it goes dark. Now it's going dark. Come out and tell us it's actually a project. Then, otherwise, what are we doing?
Does anyone know who we've got left in the Prem till Christmas? How many games is there? Who we're playing?
Lubo knows all of that.
Lubo, get that book out, mate.
We have got, I think,
Liverpool, Brentford.
No, we've got
Liverpool, Brentford, Nottingham Forest.
Brentford at home, Forest away,
home,
Liverpool at home, and Palace away till the end.
So if we beat Brentford, Forest and Prague, is that enough money, like, in the bank for you to go, right, let's back him in January?
I've got to tell you something. We are, do you know what? We're 11th in the table. We've got an unbalanced squad. We're 5 points off United and Chelsea, who are 5th and 4th. And that's it. So if he can...
You could look at it the other way, Lubo. You could look at it the other way. Again, that's why there's so many different caveats to it. We're only 3 or 4 points off being like bottom 5 or something like that, aren't we? So
Correct.
Two losses.
You aspire to go up, not down. So if you're looking at
you talk the players down.
But go and back in. Still, go and back in and get 2 or 3 quality players in January.
He has to prove that he needs to be backed. He's got to show us
He's
something.
had 4 months still, for Christ's sake.
It gets worse and worse every week, Lubo. Every week it gets worse.
Stel, your daughter, right? She worked in a new. She went to get work in a new job, right?
Yeah.
Probation. How long do you get in probation? You get like 3 months to prove yourself before they decide whether to hire you to keep you or to get rid of you, right?
She's not on £4 million a year.
100%.
She's not on £4 million a year.
It's the results business. Yes, you get a little bit of leeway. You get a little bit of time to build, but you got. I'm with Stel on the. I think Stel is flip flopping on his previous answers on the show.
If your daughter,
I do agree with your current state. You do have to.
Not making
you do have
any
to show
sales,
something.
right? If she,
Yeah, you can't.
don't you guys think he's got to show something, like a little something? Like Arteta, he won an FA Cup, 6 months. He goes, look, there you go. There's something. Klopp got to 2 cup finals. He showed something. Ange in his first season got 5th. At least you could say, right, he's got us back into Europe. There's something.
Yeah, but the season's not over yet. That's unfair because the season's not over.
You still have to show something, don't you? You still have to show something.
Devil's advocate, how do we know he doesn't sign Savio and Morgan Gibbs White in January and we go on and finish top 5, 6, whatever? We don't know that. So we're written him off.
So
but the thing is that what happens if that doesn't happen? Like, when everyone says, "Oh, I'll give him a year," okay, we're bottom of the league and we're 10 points off safety. Are you still giving him the year? Then you're still giving him the.
At some point,
there has to be a point. What month are we? Yeah, that's there's.
We gave him
that's
the
same comment is I'm going to give him a year. So it's not like
I agree with what everyone's saying, and I agree with Stel. You have to see something, but there has to be a bit of logic to it as well. I'm thinking. We have been in the Champions League since he's took over, so he's getting maximum 1 or 2 days training a week. There is sort of a lot of strings to the bow. There's so many bits and pieces. So for me, my question to you, Stel, was if we beat Forest, Brentford, and Slavia Prague, is that showing you enough to then back him in January? Because you're saying he needs to show something in December.
How many Premier League games are left before now and January?
It's 4.
I think he has to win minimum 2 out of 4. If he wins 2 out of 4, he's bought himself life to be back. If we lose 3 and draw 1, and we're sitting,
he's got to go.
Are you saying to me, chuck 100 million at him?
Then what? Sure.
Do you chuck 100? Well, then what do you do? I think then you bring in. I tend to think that the managerial market right now is either going to be dry as hell, or if there's a couple of other things that happen, like I personally believe, a little bit of conspiracy here, I personally believe that Liverpool and Real Madrid are in a bit of a Mexican standoff. Neither of them want their managers. I think there's civil war at Real Madrid. I think Liverpool are in a whole heap of problems. But if Liverpool sack Arne Slot before, and then they want to go and bring Xabi Alonso in, then they'll have to pay compensation to Arne Slot. West Ham have just equalised, by the way. Amazing. So they'll have to pay compensation to Arne Slot. Then they'll have to, if they want to bring Xabi Alonso in, they'll have to pay compensation to Real Madrid, which Real Madrid will be happy to do, because if Real Madrid sack Xabi Alonso, they'll have to pay Xabi Alonso out of his contract, right? So there's a bit of like a tug of war there, who pulls the trigger first on who. And also I think that if Oliver Glasner will probably go to Manchester United if Manchester United sack Amorim at some point. Don't know if they will, but if they do, so I think there's a potential managerial merry-go-round that could sort of start with one of those 2 sackings, Liverpool or United. With regards to Tottenham's efforts, though, I think that it'll be difficult to get a manager in of top class without spending an absolute fortune before the summer. So you maybe bring in an interim. The question I have for you guys,
that's just kicking the can down the road again, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to sign, but if you're going to say, for example. If you're going to come
to us, if we lose the next 3, who's going to?
Well, if we're going by what we saw in the summer, Morgan Gibbs White wanted to come and Savio wanted to come. From what we read,
now look at the state of the club.
But
15th playing awful football. What top footballer is going to say, "What? I'll go there." Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, no, of course, I get that kind. I get that, but there's also stuff that you could say. Say, for example, we did sign those 2. and gave Frank till the end of the season. You just said about getting an interim manager now till the end of the season anyway. So if you get a Savio and a Morgan Gibbs-White, I would expect any good manager to be able to get the best out of them also. If you're not getting the best, or you can't get the best out of someone like Savio or Morgan Gibbs-White, then you're clearly not a very good manager. I believe a good manager will get good results out of good players. At the moment, we don't have good players or great players. So by adding better players, it ain't going to do any bad or downfall to the next manager, surely.
Do you let Thomas Frank shape the like he said in August when he first came in, he said, look, I'm not going to say that Brentford's talent ID model was better, but it was very, very good, which is another way of saying it's fucking miles better.
But have a look at Spurs' recent history. It was better, okay?
Yeah.
Right. But do you allow Thomas Frank to shape the targets that you identify, or do you sit there and say, look, you can be a part of the conversation, let him feel like he's a part of the conversation, but ultimately Paratici and Langer and whoever else get together?
I think that's how it is anyway. Yeah.
If these are the 4 players that we've identified for a midfield spot, let's just say, for example, Baliba, I don't know, fucking Locatelli, Calhanoglu, and someone else, and then what's his name says, Thomas Frank says, I want Baliba. Even if that is possible, but that's not the one that the directors want to go for. Do they go for one of the other 3 and then just tell Thomas Frank, listen, we tried, but we couldn't get him, so we're going to go for one of these 3?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like sort of finesse the conversation, so he's still involved, but ultimately go down.
Why can't it be? Why can't look? No one knows what their bosses are doing behind their back or in the big boy offices. Like let's face that. So he may say, look, I'll say Adeyemi because that's a player that I actually want. He might say, right, I want Adeyemi. And the boys at the top, the Vinay's and stuff, may have been going, look, he's struggling at the minute. The one looking to come in or favourite to come in is Pochettino. He ends in the summer. Does Adeyemi fit into Poch's system? Yeah. Well, then it's a win-win. He works now, he works later. So then, yes, they would go for it and sign him. Whereas, say, for example, he said, right, I want a Jack Grealish. And then we went, right, the next guy to come in is Pochettino. Does Jack Grealish fit into Pochettino's system, for example? No. All right, well, then let's go back for Adeyemi. He works for both. Could there not be like a happy medium? Because if you're upgrading your players to better players, then you should be able to get a better tune out of better players, no?
But if you're going to bring in Oliver Glasner, then there'll be a need for an extra centre back. If you're going to go,
then this is the problem because he's a defensive manager. He's a defensive manager. So this is what we've said the whole time about sticking with one philosophy and going and going and going. If we was to go from, we've literally gone from and all out attack to this guy that's like a mid block we don't know, to Glasner who's a 3/5 at the back every week. So again, we're then changing 3 different formations in the 3 managers into 1 year.
Again, and that's the problem. That's what Stell's saying, is that we need to get an identity. Like, for instance, that's the perfect example. Glasner's the perfect example. What we should do is by identifying, right, we want to play 4 at the back and this is the system. Glasner's the best available manager, but he's not the best available for what we want, because we don't want that. We want something
we have. Maybe. Yeah.
We've just spent 3 years restructuring the entire academy. Okay, bringing a manager that plays to the philosophy of the academy. That's what you do.
But this, I think, this is where
who's that? De Zerbi's the guy, is it?
De Zerbi,
prioritises you.
Iriola, any one of them matches the way the academy plays, and we've got some talent there. I'm telling you, there's some talent there. Whether people want to just come from above, it's a different conversation. There's talent.
This is where it comes from above. We all say it. We've all said it numerous times on here. Managers don't get years. They don't get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. It's the person above them that needs to be looking at. Like I use this example. Most managers come in, they don't care about how Williams Barnett does. Doesn't matter to them, because by the time he's ready, they're gone. So there needs to be someone above them that goes, right, how do we manage his career from now to 5 years? Can we bring in managers that are going to look at him a bit more? Can we bring in a system that he's going to fit into?
That's what Langer's in charge of now, isn't he?
That's exactly what we need to do. We need to have an idea so that, again, going back to Stell's point, he don't want to go and drop 100 million, 150 million on Frank players and then we change him in the summer. Well, actually, if it was Spurs' players and we fit this system and this is what we want to do and the manager's not good enough, okay, we bring in another manager that fits that system. So does the players. I think that's the problem.
That's what I mentioned half an hour ago. That's the system.
No, so did I. So I think that's what I'm saying is I think that's what all of our problem is right now, is that what our ideal situation where Spurs go is not what Frank is. So are Spurs using Frank as the barometer? Is he going to be the one that sets the standards, or are we going to go somewhere else again? In the next breath, are we going to go to a Pochettino, which will be a completely different shift, completely different style, and we'll be sitting here going, "Why have we got a load of players?"
Manager. I just want to. I don't want fucking Bonnie Blue settings, and I don't want I don't want Mother Teresa settings. I just want a promiscuous bird who's a lady on the street, a freak in the bed, who knows how to behave around the ball. That's all I want. Right? It's not that difficult. There's plenty of managers out there that can set up a team with equal composure and equal risk, and there's loads of them out there. It seems to be like a rarity now. Like you have to pick a manager that's either super pragmatic or super gung ho. Like what happened to just balanced football? Like
but last year it was anything but Ange.
Well, not for me.
Listen,
let me just quickly, guys. Just sorry, Stel. 1 second, because I've got a couple of super chats to do, and we've only got 20 minutes, and we also do need to slide into the Brentford preview because we're not going to be together again before that happens. Let me just quickly do these super chats, mate, and I'll come back to you, Stel. Roy Viking, member for 4 months. Big up to you. He says, I remember the last 12 months under Poch. I was absolutely furious with the lineups and substitutions. I 100% agree with you. So it wasn't all great with him either. The last season after the Champions League final, he was clearly playing for the sack with some of his decisions. 100%.
And the Champions League final season, he was awful.
Why do we ignore the 4 years before that?
Oh, we don't. Oh, no, we don't.
Credit in the bank.
He's focused on the negative and ignored all the positive.
He's saying it wasn't all great, so therefore he's acknowledging there was some great, but it wasn't all perfect. I definitely feel like he got a little bit stale.
1 year. I mean,
and
it was more than a year, though, wasn't it? Because when we got to the final, it wasn't great in the Prem.
We stopped buying players for 2 seasons.
James, it started at Burnley February 23rd, and it went from there. Up to then,
what time? Luba, what time did it start?
We won the previous 3 games.
Archie Gray had just got an hat-trick for the under-14s at Leeds. He was absolutely superb. And that was
you were following them, Luke, so I'll take your word for it.
Lubo, I swear are you slightly on the spectrum, mate? Like like the guy in that film.
I've had this argument with
Rain Man.
before.
Rain Man. If
Levy had back coach, he could have started a dynasty, I'm telling you. He had the right manager and we had the wrong chairman. And look where we are now. There you go.
Listen, if we had balls, we'd break the bank, give him whatever he wants and get Klopp at Tottenham. If we had the bollocks, we'd bring Jurgen Klopp to Tottenham.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
We won't do it.
Clippity Klopp.
He won't manage anywhere else in England, he said.
Not being funny,
Give him the money.
Why is it? The manager is arguably the most important cog in your team, and yet they don't get paid as much as some of the players do. That we're happy to pay 10 million quid a year, 11 million quid a year, whatever it was, to Timo Werner on loan. Yet the idea of going to Conte level salaries again is completely obnoxious to most people. To the ownership, it's crazy. Tim Wong, big up to you, mate. Super sticker, choo to you. Cat Funk, that is, big up to you, buddy. Thanks very much indeed. Very generous, my man. Chris Roberts also put in a super chat saying, who do you think will sign in January realistically? We'll save that for the last 5 minutes, mate. Big up to you, buddy. Destiny, big up to you, Desto. He says, bring Poch and Kane home in the summer. That's a Lubo. Is that Lubo in disguise, Desto? Big up to you, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. I don't think Harry Kane's coming back now, as much as it kills me. Let's talk a little bit about this.
Sure. I just want to say one thing, because someone in the chat said to me, having a go at me because I'm talking about youth and this and that. It's mental. It's crazy. Any longevity project, 4 or 5 years, always includes academy players. Because what you do is you sign some good players that are underneath the radar that become gems. You sign some top quality players because you can attract them because your team's good. And then you add the youth into it because it's a wonderful environment for them to flourish. And you'll always have 2 or 3 youngsters that flourish. But Fergie's Man United, perfect example. Klopp, he did it. Look at Arsenal now. Staka, Nyamweri, these youngsters are coming in. Every big project, you have some academy players in there. You always do. It makes sense. That's the point I was trying to make. So to dismiss our academy is just ridiculous. At Tottenham, I don't know what it is. too many fans just shit on our academy. It's like they hate it. They don't want it there. Understand?
Well, I just think it's been a long time coming for like this promise of like the Paratici rebuild, which I think started under Conte. It hasn't. It's definitely a lot better, and hopefully some of these players that are out on loan are going to come back and actually finally be a part of it. But until they're a part of it, then people aren't going to get too excited. I think, are they? You know,
when Andy became the manager, we were only then beginning to see some of the fruits of the work. I remember Simon Davis saying to me, the current under 14s, which are now the 16s, he goes, the current under 14s, that'll be the crop that should begin to come into the first team. Otherwise, it's the under 12s upwards, because then they would have had at least 4 to 8 years with me and what we're doing. I said, okay, makes sense. But if you change the manager's style, if you bring in a manager who doesn't match the academy philosophy, that's it. You just killed the academy work. It's like teaching a bunch of kids how to fly a plane, and then you say, right, we need you now to drive cars. Well, hold on, I've just learned how to fly a plane. What do you mean? I've got to learn to do that then. And that's what we're doing. We're teaching them one thing.
Are the academy taught to just be? Are they specialists in a certain system, not generalists? I don't know how it works.
Before, we used to work on individual development. They called it 1v1 domination. You've got the ball, do not lose it. Dribble past as many players as possible, shield the ball, turn on the ball. If someone comes from behind you to tackle you, swivel left, turn right. If someone comes at you, take them on. So that player could play in any system, because basically they can win a 1v1 battle in any formation. Spurs then moved away from that because they wanted to go down a more of a philosophy route. So they still teach some of that, but now it's just how the team as a whole plays. And they all play out from the back, through the lines, create overloads, and they're coached to make excellent decisions in the final third. From under 6s all the way up to under 21s, that's what they do. So when you bring in a manager that doesn't meet that philosophy, what was the point of teaching the kids that? Okay, what was the point? That's what we've just done by hiring Frank. It doesn't make sense.
So we need to find a manager at the top then that can that has that sort of basic play out of the back philosophy,
or change the academy again. But then that'll put you back another 5 to 10 years with the academy, because they've.
Well, I guess that's where patience and impatience meets in the middle, right? With the academy, you've got to be super patient, but with the first team, everybody's super impatient. Let me bring us back into these two chats, guys. We've got 20 minutes left. If you guys if you're still with us, please do smash the like button and smash the subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be putting in Spotlight on Spurs and the rest of the guys' channels in a second. Please go over to Lukey's chat. Guys, Ledley's knees asked this a while ago. Is it the biggest derby of the season? I guess that's a bit tongue in cheek. Luba, I'll start with you, mate. What do you want to see against Brentford, mate? What sort of team? Obviously, we know we need to see more passion, so save that point. But just sort of, how do you want to see us set up?
I want to see us set up with Kari at the back, Spence at right back, Romero, Mickey will come back with Udogie. Was just fun enough. I was having a chat with Jeff this morning, and we both said Polinia, Bergvall, and Simmons are the three. And up front, I would probably play Kudus right. I would play Moani left, Tell left, Moani in the middle. That's how I would set up. I want to see them go after Brentford from the first whistle. I just want to see them play attacking football. You know, listen, the handbrake wasn't on last week. We were 2 down in 6 minutes. We had no choice but to go forward. I want to see Spurs go forward the same way at 0-0 from the first whistle. Be positive. Don't be scared. Don't sit back. And go and get the 3 points. Because, you know, the fans deserve it. The fans haven't seen a win at home in the league since the first day of the season. So
it's crazy.
It's crazy. It is mad. It's mad.
It's fucking crazy.
But, you know, let's go out there.
Is there a particular 11 though, mate? Do you want to see 4-2-2-2? Do you want to see what we did against Newcastle again, back three? What's your? How do you want to see us set up? Or are you not that bothered?
I'd set up with the 4 at the back. I'd set up with I play whichever way you play. You know, you play Paulinho at the base. You'd have Bergvall and Simmons playing further up together. So you'd have a 4-1-2-3
with Xavi in it.
Yeah, Definitely.
Who's your midfield?
Polinia, Bergvall and Simmons. They're my three.
Alenia, Bergvall. We haven't seen that three yet.
We haven't seen it, but it's about time we did see it.
Yeah.
You know, Bergvall's a runner. You know, he covered the grounds tremendously the other night. You know, wherever you looked, he was there. I don't want to see Bentancur anywhere near that first 11.
Yeah, I agree. Let me come to Lukey, because I know you've got to go in a few minutes, Lukey. So I'll tell you what, I'll let you have the answer now, and then I'll let you jump out, get yourself ready for your own show. And guys, there's still 650 people here. Please do subscribe to there's Stell's channel, Spurs Corner. He's just trying to get going again. So please do smash the subscribe there. I put Lukey's chat in as well. I don't know where it's gone. Here it is. Just scroll up a little bit. There it is. I'll be sending everybody over to Lukey's after this when he's going live with his mates. Lukey, thanks for coming on, mate. What's your how do you want to see us set up against Brentford, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, are we all gonna pick our own lineups and say who should be starting and everything else? But at the end of the day, it's down to intent, right? I don't care if you play 7 strikers. If you're not going to try and attack it, don't make a blind bit of difference. So I understand why people don't want the Bentancur Palhinha sort of partnership. I agree with that, but I just think that might give you a bit of a base to just let Xavi do what he does. And I think that's the only way that we're potentially going to see Xavi. I can't see, if he hasn't played him in the other games, I can't see him playing alongside Bergvall with Palhinha there. For me, I just think like he's gonna go with that two in midfield. So it's interesting. Spence seems to have dropped off the radar. No one seems to really be speaking about whether Spence should or shouldn't be playing. But I feel like against Brentford, I feel like we should definitely be going a bit more attacking and trying to get on the ball a bit more. So I'd have Vicario probably in goal. I think Kinski's really pushing him. Sorry, James. I feel like he's really pushing him. So Vicario, I would go with probably go with Spence, because I think Porro, again, as I said earlier, I think Porro, when he plays games consistently, you do see dips in form because of how much he's played, and I think he needs a rest. Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie. I personally think that he will go with Palhinha and Bentancur in the midfield. Kudos, Xavi. I think Tel should be playing as well, and I think Moani. That's the 11 that I think he'll go with.
Matthias Tel should be starting. He's been forgotten about as well, hasn't he?
And this is what I went about the left winger, right? It seems like 1 minute Brennan Johnson doesn't come off the bench, and then the next week he starts. It's almost like there's no sort of clue as to how people can pick up the sort of like get like Kudos and Porro have had consistency. They've played. They understand a little bit what they're going to do. We've got no combinations across the pitch because it's constantly changing, which is difficult when you're playing every 3 days. But I feel like he needs to have some sort of understanding. You can't go from almost being like, I think there was one stage where Brennan didn't come on and he was like the 5th choice left winger. Yeah. A week later he starts. So how do you jump from there to there? Like, so I think Tel, I know that he's not unbelievable, but I feel like he got on the ball and he wants to try to do something. So he was involved in both the goals the other day. Some people are saying he changed the game. I don't think it's exaggerate that much, but I feel like he definitely showed a bit of intent. And I think that's the problem, is that the intent of this team, it's not enough.
He's not playing on the Tuesday either, is he, for the Champions League? So.
And that's it. Like, people talk about Bergvall saying he just basically a bit of a headless chicken. I think he's looking around going, any of you experienced pros going to take this ball and do something with it, or am I going to have to do it all again? And I feel like he'd done that last year. He's got far too much is being pushed on him to go and do stuff. I think we should be bringing in the experienced players to kind of say to him, look, this is when you calm down, this is when you go forward, pass it to us, call heads and everything else. So that's the team that I'd go with, but whether it will be like that. But as I say, intent is key to me. When we played Arsenal, they only really had 3 attacking players on the pitch. You wouldn't have known that because they was attacking from every single direction. And that's what we need to do. We need to have more intent when we're going forward.
Love that, Lukey, mate. Thank you so much for coming on, buddy. Everyone, we are going to send you over towards Lukey when we finish up in about sort of 10 minutes or so. Lukey, thanks so much for coming on, mate. I'll let you go. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it,
guys. Thank you. See you later.
See you later, Luke. By the way, Sean, we need predictions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get Johnny's after the fact then, yeah. Sorry, in that case then, Lubo, what's your prediction for the game?
2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs. I'm going to go... I'm going to go...
Sigh. It's the...
Oh, no. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs as well.
No, only because I said that, so you stay top if we both get it right.
Mate, listen. It's like the old Premier League, mate. The guy who was top at Christmas usually goes on to win. So I'm going to say, as long as I'm top by Christmas, mate, I'm more than happy. Let me come to.
You're going to beat me, Sean. If you copy my score every single week, you're going to beat me, aren't you?
Oh dear. As if I would ever copy you most of the time, mate. But I think 2-1's the right result. Let me come to Flowers. James, mate, how you doing, buddy? Who do you want to see start? Who do you want to see play? And what's your score prediction as well, mate?
Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogi. And then I'm going to go Polinia, Bentancur, Bergvall. I'm going to play Xavi on the left. Allow him to almost cut in and be a second number 10 and have Udogi overlapping. And striker, I don't care, Kudos. Maybe try Tell, I don't know. I'm really not fussed about a striker. I think they're all crap.
Imagine you were brought in to do the pre-match team talk, mate. Oh, I don't know, guys. Just like pass it around a little bit, I guess. And
I just know they can't play football, so just bring Will Lancashire back.
You know what he says, Sean? James's team talk, by the way. James's team talk will be, well, you lot are actual bollocks now. Go and prove me wrong.
I don't want any of you. If it was up to me, the owners would put their hand in their pocket and sell all of you lot for fucking packet of pork scratchings and a pint of lager.
100%. Yeah, 100%. No, for me, I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think we have a goal threat up front. I genuinely don't think we have a natural goal threat. I said this months ago to Stel in Stel's chat, months ago, and everyone said you're an idiot. And now it's not actually a massive thing, is it? Now everyone's like,
guys in the chat, make sure you tell James he's still an idiot.
But I think Dane Scarlett's got the same amount of goal involvements as Kolo Muani this season. Can't be that bad. We was talking about minutes poor Kolo Muani earlier, but what about Dane Scarlett? Where's the justice?
Well,
hasn't he got 2 goal involvements this season?
Yeah, to be honest, I've never seen Dane Scarlett put on the Tottenham shirt and have a bad performance ever.
So for me, that's. I mean, Kudos left just because I think it's the only place that he could potentially get on the ball a lot and gain a bit of confidence. Udogi overlapping allows him to cut inside. Yeah, I don't think you're going to do any confidence and wean him in by just keep subbing him every game. And I think it will be 2-1 win or a 2-2 draw.
I know you've got to pick one. You don't get to do that.
I get to do what I want.
Listen. Pick your. Should we allow James to represent Johnny, because Johnny could do with some help from another mind.
I'll go on holiday next week. I won't be available.
You're on holiday again. You definitely are a good fill-in for Johnny. Jesus Christ.
I'll go 2-1 win.
Everyone's got 2-1 win.
Stel, what are you saying, mate? What's your team selection?
Well, I'm going to go 4-2-2-2. Udogi, Van der Ven, Romero, Spence. Porro's dropped. Sar, Paulinho, Xavi, Bergvall, Muani, Kudus.
Sar, Paulinho, who's it? Bergvall and Xavi.
Yeah. And then Kudus and Muani. So okay. The reason is I watched the Arsenal Brentford game on repeat because I knew they were playing us. Mate, they are so up for this game against us. They rested Henderson, they rested Damsgaard, and they rested Thiago. And they were, in the 90th minute, it was only 1-0 to Arsenal. They played really well. They didn't create much. But they played well. They're really well organised. And I'll tell you what, their pressing game is decent. They proper press. I don't want Porro on the pitch if they're going to press like that. Because they haven't won a single game away from home, right? They've lost all their away games, a bit like Fulham. But we can't win at home. And they've rested players we paid. Do you know what, guys? I honestly think this is going to finish 2-2. It's going to finish 2-2. I think it's going to be a score draw. Just
out of curiosity, on the points on our predictions, if it does finish 2-2, How many points behind are you?
Let's have a quick look. So I'm currently. So you're on 8. Lubo's on 7. I'm on 6. Johnny's on 2. So I would
You're
go
on 8
1
points,
point.
and you get 3 points for a correct prediction, and we've only got 8. The leader so far has only got 8 points. We are dog shit at predictions.
Our predictions. Do you know how bad it is? We can't even predict whether we're going to win or lose. Because you get a point for that. We don't even get that.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I think Brentford are going to. I think they're going to put a good account of themselves and somehow get a draw. Although they hardly score on the road. They hardly score. But we're just dodgy, man. We're just dodgy at home. We're a dodgy team at home.
Sean, is the jaw 100% after what happened? After what happened that time, is the jaw 100%? Oh, my jaw. So I thought it was a football thing. No, my jaw still clicks, mate. My jaw still clicks. Yeah. No good, mate. Whenever it's cold, it can.
Can I say, people in the chat saying bad energy from Stell? I was the only one that predicted we wouldn't beat Fulham. I was right. Everyone else said we're going to smash them. I said we weren't going to beat them. You can be positive energy alongside delusion. You know, that's the situation. By the way, Jared Bowen, I see that. Michael in the chat. They love watching Bowen. Bowen was unbelievable in that game. I had it on just next to me here. Bowen is such a great player. I would break the bank for him. I think I know it'd be difficult, but I think it'd be so good. Have I been on the sniff? Not for years, or not for months, not for weeks, not for hours. No, of course not. Listen, last question, guys. Last question. We've got some more super chats here. Actually, there's a few super chats popped in. We've got this one here, which we'll end with. Right? Who do you think will realistically sign in January from Chris? Let me come back to that one. Don't get it with the coaching team. Frank says a user. So he I think that's regarding to your take there, Stella, about the youth team not developing enough with the coaching team. I'm not sure what the coaching team do. I'm thoroughly unimpressed with Cochrane. He just seems to sit there and be. Is there a reason why Frank was allowed to bring all his coaches to Spurs, but the attacking coach didn't come? Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, he thought he was going to get the job at Brentford, and he did, and he's done a good job so far. Right?
Oh, is Andrew? Oh, was he the attacking coach?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Is that why we can't attack?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. And then Florence Marple has said, leave lovely Lubo alone. I think, has Lubo been getting it? Have you been getting it tonight, Lubo?
Don't worry, it's okay. Listen, it just goes over my head.
I don't think you've been getting it.
If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, it's true. Big up to you, Flo. Big up to you. Right, last question, guys. Who do you think will sign in January realistically? You know my take on this one. I think we're going to realistically struggle in January to get any number of players that are going to satisfy the fan base. I would be very happy with Ademola Lookman. I think that he's. I'm actually a little bit worried because I've been backing this signing for so long that if he does come and he's absolutely terrible, or if he has a fallout or whatever, then I feel like I'm going to get that one in the neck more than just my general defense of Daniel Levy. But for me, I think he's realistic. I don't think the rest of them are too realistic. But I'd like to see a loan deal. I think we'll get 2 players, one permanent, one loan. Be lovely to see a midfielder come in. Be lovely to see a striker come in. But I just think the permanent signing we'll get will probably be Ademola Lookman. I think that one's doable. Anyone else want to come in next on that one?
What's going on with this 19-year-old kid we've been linked with from RB Leipzig? Is it serious? Because
if it is, I know that with this whole no more kids thing, but for the love of God, people that say he's like, we don't want any more kids, go and look at him. Just go and watch him. He is special. He's a special player.
Here we go.
He's like an Oliver.
If he was 22, no one, all of a sudden being young is now a problem in the fan base.
Special, generational.
I think so. Generational. He's a wonderful.
He's got
like. I think he's got sort of, I don't know, little bit of like the geezer at Manchester City. His name, why has my mind gone blank? Who's the left winger
Sure.
at Manchester City?
He's basically
You said this about Tell as well. You hyped up Tell quite a lot too, didn't you?
Still, the only way I can describe him is
He hyped up Mateus Tell.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Oh, I said Mateus Tell is going to be a good player, but I wasn't talking about signing Mateus Tell before we got him. I was like, just if he's here, let's back him, and I think he'll become a good player. By the way, Mateus Tell, when he gets his few minutes, his actual output this season has been pretty good. So let's not let's relax a little bit on that one, shall we?
It is when you compare him to Moana, yeah.
Oh, shut up, James.
But for me, still, the way I would describe him, imagine this, right? He plays for a championship club, gets promoted with Burnley. He does really well for Burnley, but they still get relegated. And then you splat big money on him. He comes to the Premier and does nothing. So like Odebert.
No, because in the meantime, there's a stepping stone there between that, right? There's a stepping stone. When he was at that team in La Liga and he came up, he put in an absolute worldie against Barcelona on his home debut, on his away debut, his La Liga debut. He gets 10 games, 3 goals, 3 assists in La Liga, and then comes to RB Leipzig and does exactly the same thing in the German league. This is not Gift Orban destiny. Can everyone leave Gift Orban in the past, please?
Gift Orban and Odebert, that deja vu, mate. He's coming back to me.
Can I ask? Our fan base is crying out for experienced leader type players to join our team. If we sign this kid, are we going to go into meltdown, even if he does turn out to be good? Right? Initially, is there going to be an initial meltdown?
Yeah,
there is.
But he's like RB Leipzig are asking for £100 million for him.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen, but this is the level we're talking about. He's a special player. Go and look at it. Go and look at him. Just go and watch him. Those people that are saying don't want any more kids haven't got a fucking clue who he is. Just go and look at him and then make your own mind up.
We do this all the time. We do this all the time. Why are we still doing this?
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
I don't know enough about him.
Just go and have a look before you judge the player. Because he's 19. By the way, back in the day, if Spurs are going to sign and then insert some 32-year-old name in there, people would go, "What are we doing? We can't do not. He's a 32-year-old. There's no point." Now, all of a sudden, being young is suddenly like an anchor. It's suddenly like it's a bad thing. If this kid was 23, no one would be concerned. But the fact that he's 19 is a concern. I don't get it personally. I understand the narrative that he hasn't got that much experience. I do get that side of it. And I'm not saying that we should get him ahead of Semenyo or whatever, but if you do happen to get him, it's not like he's it's not like he's someone that's not ready. He's very, very good. Go and have a look.
I don't know enough about him.
Not for me. Not for me. We need somebody to come in and they have to hit the floor running. And the moment he doesn't, everyone's going to go on his back again and he's going to be a flop. Because I do think the fans play a big part in whether a player can succeed or fail. And I think that we need an established player to come in. Like you were saying, if you want Lookman or if you want Semenyo, these are going to also please the fans in the respect of new owners aim big. Whereas if we went and signed another kid that most people haven't heard of, nothing's really changed.
I agree with you. By the way, I'm not saying he will go for 100 million quid. I'm just saying that's what people are suggesting that on all the different aggregators, whatever, saying that he's valued in RB Leipzig's mind at 100 million. He would never be nothing like that. But I also think, James, I agree with you, mate, that for me, you go and get a proper established player ahead because it cuts out that kind of, what are we doing here, more kids bullshit. But Ademola Lookman, half the fan base think he's trash as well. And I don't understand it because he's not. I
don't think he's trash. I'm just worried about his attitude. Like we said earlier, I really worry about the whole falling out with people and causing rifts. I don't think he's a crap player because the GA, for me, is a goal-scoring winger is exactly what we need. And he guarantees you that, or almost guarantees you that. And that's kind of where I would feel a lot more comfortable signing someone like a Lookman with those goals and assists rather than a guy that's got three goals, 3 assists or whatever he has.
I think he's got 14 GA, that kid, in 23 professional appearances in the top league of football as a winger.
That's good.
Xavi Simons had really good stats as well when he came from Germany.
Yeah, true. That's very true. That is true. Lubo, who's your picks, mate?
Who would I like to see? 2 players. go and make a statement. I think while Bergval's coming through, go and get Çalhanoğlu from Inter and go and get Osimhen from Galatasaray. If you want to make a statement, Vivian.
I don't really rate Çalhanoğlu. I think he's past it.
Well, see, there you go. He's 31. He's past it. Maybe he is.
But,
right?
But
I don't want him too young. I
the
don't want
leg.
kids. I don't want granddads.
It's not the age for me. It's the legs and work rate and things. I feel like he would struggle a little bit with physicality work.
Palhinha has been up. He won't struggle with the physicality. But Palhinha, you're saying, is our best player this year, and he's 30, isn't he? 31.
Yeah, but he doesn't do as much running. He's there, and actually, when you look at like his retention and ball passing, it's not very good. He's there to get the ball, and then that's it. And that's what he does fantastically. I think that our number 8 needs to be fantastic at most things, and I worry that he's not good enough at everything to sort of come in and pick the team up. I would rather, like we said earlier, I would rather someone like an Edison. If we're going to go down that route, that's where I would go.
Realistically, I think we might get a Tony if they can sort his tax thing out, if that's possible. But
Stel, who would you like to see?
Well, obviously, I'd love Semenyo from Bournemouth. I'm still for us signing Savio. I know it's not really happening from at City at the moment, but I'd have him at Spurs.
Would you go back and offer the same amount of money as we offered them in August?
I don't really know much about the money on this one, Sean, if I'm honest with you. I wouldn't pay 80 million upwards. I wouldn't do that. I think that's too much, but 55 to 65 million maybe sounds about right. We need a number 8. We need a proper ball-playing number 8. We haven't replaced Dembele.
What about
I still like Manicone. I said it 3 years ago.
Manicone is a baller, absolute baller.
I said it when he was at Mönchengladbach.
Would you go and get Edison as well from Atalanta? He seems to have fallen off his perch, but he was a baller.
Yes. Listen, Pape Sarr, Bentancur, who else got in the middle? Basuma. None of them really cut it at Spurs. None of them. Palhinha does. Bergval's improving. Gray, he's a kid. I think he should go on loan. He'll probably stay. But in that midfield, I'd get rid of all those 3 I mentioned. Even Xavi Simons. If it carries on like this with Simons, we've got to make obviously not now, but it can't be like this every game with Xavi Simons. It's just ridiculous. We're getting nothing out of him. It's so far, it's turned out to be a dud signing. It's a waste of money so far. Yeah. So we need a ball-playing 8 that can control the tempo of the game, speed it up, slow it down, calm it down. We haven't got anyone in the club that can do that.
Would you go and pay Forest 100 million for Elliot Anderson?
I'd pay whatever the price is, but it's not my money. So yeah. Anderson, I think he's a really good player. Ward and Palace. I quite like. Listen, he's not getting a look in, and I still think he's worth a punt. Chiesa. I wanted Chiesa before I went to Liverpool. I think Chiesa's a good player. I really do. They got him for
he always does well when he comes on. He always does well for them when he comes on.
For 10 million quid. You know?
You're getting called out there. You're getting called out there, Flower, by the way, mate.
By the person with the worst takes on YouTube. Do you know what I mean?
Have you noticed Danny? He comes on the shows with 10 minutes to go, just starts going for people. It's like
he's like the box office, isn't he? He just wants his 10 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
Listen, Lookman, Sean, if you sign Lookman, I think that'd be a really good signing for Tottenham.
Yeah,
a really good signing.
I think he's got everything you need. Creates balance as well. He's got output. Baller, absolute baller. Right, guys.
I love Mitoma at Brighton. I keep talking about him. I'd love Mitoma at Tottenham.
Yeah, I'll take Mitoma as well. I'll take Minte. Take Minter from Brighton as well. I think that guy's an absolute baller. They've always got someone else up their sleeve to bring out for the next season. Guys, it's been amazing. 680 people here the whole show. 700 people here the whole show. I want to say a massive thank you to all of you that have put your time and effort and energy into the channel tonight. Thank you for the super chats, those who put them in. Thank you to James for coming on, mate. As always, absolute pleasure to spend the day with you. Thank you to Lukey as well. We're going to send you guys over to Lukey right now. So stay where you are and you'll get redirected. And I put the links in for everyone's socials as we've gone through. But yeah, I won't do it again now. But they'll be in the chat, in the description if you want to subscribe to Spurs Corner, Spurs Talk Show, to Lubo on Twitter, to Football Inc., and to Spurs Talk Show. I've said that already. Guys, we will love you and leave you. And we'll see you on Monday. Any final words, boys?
Please win. Please. Please.
out.
Can you imagine? All this talk about Frank. Can you imagine if we had social media in 1977 and Birkinshaw in his first season has just been relegated? Can you imagine the scream up? And he brought them back up 12 months later, got Ozzy and Ricky in, and won 3 trophies in 4 years. That's what happens sometimes when you give a manager a break and you have patience with him.
So you're saying you keep Frank if he goes down?
We won't go down. We won't be going down.
The point you're making is that we if he does go down, then we should also keep him anyway. Because
what I'm saying is we won't go down, but give the guy a break. Let's see how he gets on.
We'll continue. Danny's on his rant.
So you're happy to just lose every week, basically. Then
I'm not. I don't think we'll lose every week. So I think we're a mid-table team, and that's where we'll finish. But I do think that Frank's results will improve when we get better players.
Okay. You could say that for any manager, though. If you give better players to Conte, to Ange, to Poch, to Jose, give better players to any manager, you'd improve. Any manager.
Of course they do. Of course they do. And we're coming up to a window now, aren't we, in 4 weeks' time? So let's see how they get on.
I think he needs to win 2. He needs to win 2 out of the next 4 league games. He has to. He just has to. In my view.
I agree. If things don't turn around before Christmas, it's going to be night, Thomas Frank. Guys, we'll leave it there. We'll see you on the next show. Take care, everyone.